Yes, 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 yes!
Yes, 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 yes!
Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon, it's anime! Yes! Welcome to another episode of AnimeSHUN. The squad is 4 for 4 today.
Yeah.
The building.
We out here.
Brennan's he's through Zoom. He's technology. Oh shit! All right, look, we're not making bets on this one, right?
Wow.
No, man, you made it to the end.
I made it
You
last
made it.
time.
Oh my God. Technological.
He's technologically on the screen right now.
Yes.
Brendan.
You could have just said virtually.
With us in another
I
time.
was looking for that word. I could.
Yeah, that would have helped.
I was looking for virtually. So Brennan is virtually here with us. He is out of town, but you know the squad. So the squad is 4 here. We got Rob here. We got Ice here. We got Brennan here. We got myself here. Amir on the boards. No, should I go in on cam today?
Yeah, go in
we
on
got
it.
to.
No bitch ass, hoe ass, punk ass, trick ass Cam in the building today.
No.
Punk ass, punk ass, punk ass, punk ass.
No Cam in the building today at all, but we got Amir coming through. And, you know, man, we do on here. We talk our shit, do our one-offs, talk our stuff on here.
We have Amir, the guy that everybody thinks Cams look like.
Yeah,
Yep.
but, I know if you knew that. They thought you was Cam, which is hilarious.
They was like, yeah, he probably some cool black dude to just be chilling with a do-rag on. It was like, you literally just explained Amir.
That's 100% Amir.
We talk our shit on here. We do our debates, man. And yeah, man, that Patreon. I mean, we're here, AnimeSHUN, SHUN. But we got a little bit of an announcement for you guys. The AnimeSHUN is taking some time away for probably as of right now. It's
indefinite.
It's an indefinite hiatus, guys.
Yep.
No, we are not joking. This is very, very serious. A lot of our time, we don't have really a lot of time to keep doing this as of right now. We gotta come back and figure some things out. So yeah, man, this will probably be the last podcast for a possibly for a while, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we love all you guys, and that's the end of the episode. We'll see you guys.
And that's it.
We're gonna do a full episode today, but yeah, this is for real. We're dead serious here. But we got the squad. That's what we wanted to make sure the squad was in full effect. That's why Brendan is virtual.
Absolutely.
He came through. But we're gonna still do some stuff that we normally do. Of course, we're gonna do talk about My Hero today.
Yeah.
We're gonna also give what our top 5 animes that we're into, that we watch.
Getting into it.
And then I also, some questions that we probably asked. I don't know if Brennan can. If I try to see if Brennan if he wants to even answer some early, because if he has to leave, if you have like your top 5, I guess arcs, and anime.
We doing arcs?
Yeah, both. We're doing
I thought
both.
it was just top 5
Yeah, I
anime.
thought it was.
But let's go top 5. I figured just overall.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I one of my questions was favorite arcs, but
Before we move forward, Brennan, since we won't be back for a little minute, can you tell them what the people are listening to and watching, and or both, for the people at home?
it's the last one, baby
It's
boy.
the last,
Come on,
it's
man.
the last one. What are the people?
They're watching the AnimeSHUN
Oh,
podcast.
God.
That is what this is.
Oh,
You couldn't do
Four
it for us.
friends talking about anime on the AnimeSHUN podcast. Honestly, I applaud your effort there, Ice. I really do. But no, I am the most consistent person you will ever meet.
That's
And
ridiculous.
that is what it will be. Is we are the animation podcast.
I might
Say
have
what
bought
you
it.
will.
I might have bought it if you say you were trying to protect your poor son's ears.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you just wanted.
couldn't- yeah, you
you just had to go full villain.
Would you have did it if I asked you and Ice wasn't here?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
Okay, all right.
That I buy.
What
Okay.
about
That I buy
this?
100%.
You just finished the last word.
You said what now?
You do in the entire world. I started off and you finish it.
He's not gonna do it.
No.
Yeah, he's not
Full
gonna
of
do
shit.
it.
I don't
You're
know. I
full
don't
of
know
shit.
what you think this
You're
is, bro.
full of
I've been-
shit.
You might as well get it out the way
Day
now,
one.
just in
Yeah,
case.
I mean,
just in case he ain't
just
gonna be
in case,
here.
Yeah. So you're watching, listening for maybe the last time, maybe not the last time, probably not the last time, but who knows? But this is the greatest
Let him know.
fucking anime podcast in the entire world.
You
There
know
we
what's
go.
funny? Like Brenda didn't
That volume
budge.
all
Like
the way down.
yeah, Brenda didn't budge. She didn't care. He's just like, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool
No,
leaving
y'all
this
saw
behind.
My thumb hit that volume all the way to 0.
Yo, Brendan's like, yo, I'm cool with this hearing that for the last fucking time.
He's-
Of all things to hear
If
last,
there's anything, if there's a silver lining, we have found it.
but yes, man, we will be like I said, going over My Hero, talking about our favorite animes, our top 5 animes, anyways, and we got some other questions while we're doing My Hero. But first, as always, we have a poll. What do you have for us on the poll this week?
What you got?
Today's poll, we talking about one of the OGs, one of the most recognizable animes in the entire history of the world, Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. But just to put a little twist on one of the probably more popular Pokemon questions, we're talking about the best starter Pokemon. Of these starter Pokemon, we're talking about stage 2, so not the third evolution, not the first evolution, but that second part right there, that the step before greatness. So of the 3 starter Pokemon, Ivysaur, Charmeleon, and Wardle, which one of these is your favorite? It was Charmeleon got out to a very early lead. I think like the first 15 votes were just all Charmeleon, and then Wardle just fought back hard, but it wasn't enough. So 55% of the vote went to Charmeleon. He's number 1. Wardle with 38% of the vote at number 2, and then Ivysaur with only 7% of the vote
I mean,
at
come
number
on.
3.
I mean, sounds well deserving. Sounds well deserving.
What are you guys? What about y'all? What are y'all of the level 2, stage 2 Pokemon? Which is your favorite?
Who you want to go first?
Brendan, go first, man. Go ahead.
Who you got?
Honestly, I'd actually look. First of all, I'm a huge Charizard fan, huge Pokemon fan. I still upstairs in this house I'm in right now. Still have all my Charizards. I have 4 of them. Like
Y'all did
holographic
a
Charizards from the
standalone
original
episode,
set.
right? Didn't you? You and Rob did a standalone
Yeah.
Pokemon episode.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
something.
Bro,
Yeah.
I know my Pokemons, but I will say this: for me, the most diverse level of skill and the ability when it came to what they could do, specifically through the cards and just the powers that they had, I'm gonna go with Ivysaur. Ivysaur has like the whips. Ivysaur has the powder. Ivysaur has the beams.
So,
Like the man
cocaine?
goes, the Pokemon goes hard. You know, the diversity of skills for me gives the edge to Ivysaur. I know that Charmeleon looks cool, you know, and all that, but it's just like, all right, cool. What do you do that Charmander doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Not much. Not much at all. And what can you do to the rest of them? And there's probably a lot. Now, because of the weaknesses and resistances, yes, Charmeleon would wax him.
Yeah.
But he would get waxed by War Turtle. I don't know why you call him Wardle. I call him War Turtle. But either way, that's my pick.
Rob, what do you got?
It does. It's first form, second form, third form. It's Squirtle gang all day for
Yeah.
me. I'm going Squirtle, War Turtle, Blastoise.
Yeah.
That's my 3. I can't like that was the first one I picked. That's always going to be my favorite starter. When we went to Anime Expo,
Yeah.
that was one of the things I got. Is I found a little like small like
War
off-brand
Turtle.
Lego set that was like a little Pokeball with a Lego Squirtle in it. So War Turtle's my guy. Like
Yeah.
of those 3 forms, I think War Turtle is my favorite too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's got the little wing ears.
Yeah.
You know, he's it's just he's a cool looking dude. He's a cool, mean looking turtle. I'll take
Yeah.
him every time.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 times. War Turtle.
All right. I mean, I was always a Charmander guy first. But in this particular form, I just I'm with Rob. I like the way War Turtle looked. Like he looks so dope to me. He looked evil. From what I remember in the I feel like this form for a lot of them were kind of like a little bit meaner. I feel like War Turtle, he was about them hands too. From what I remember in the anime, like he was about that business. So
For sure.
normally Charmander in a sense from like the rest of the way through, but this particular form, I gotta go with War Turtle.
Yeah, for me, War Turtle as well. I think the biggest thing is Charmeleon is just like he like weird. He got the attitude of Charizard, but he ain't got the hands of Charizard. So it's like you just a brat, bro. Like, cause you're not that guy yet.
Yeah.
Charmander, he had the cuteness going for him. It was like, oh, he cute, got the little fire and stuff, with a little bald head. Now Charmeleon got the little weird penis head thing going on. It's just like you're not that guy yet.
Puberty hit.
Yeah.
Charmeleon hard.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why I love War Turtle, because he's bald. Like he, at the end of the day, man, he's
there you go.
he's who I mean, I wasn't bald then, but
Yeah, I think War Turtle for sure would be the that guy. The for me, because Ivysaur, I mean, yeah, what Brennan said might be true, or it is true, but he's still like, it's just like the dude. Like, yeah, he might be the smartest, but you ain't got no drip, bro. And then you got, and also too, well, I just lost Venusaur. He don't like even him. The
Venusaur is 2 thumbs down for me, man. It's no thanks.
So it's,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll say, so it's safe to say everybody is well, not except Brennan, but like, what would be the rank? Would it be War Turtle, Charmeleon, then Ivysaur for y'all?
Maybe I was pretty hard on Ivysaur, but you made a good point that Charmeleon is just sort of awkward looking. Like I might put Ivysaur above Charmeleon, honestly.
Okay.
Of these forms.
Okay.
Of these forms, I might agree with Rob on that one too.
So Charmeleon number 3.
Yeah, Charmeleon number 3.
Yeah, that's right. That's how
I think it's great though, because like we all measured it. Like you guys all measured it by. Oh, hi, buddy. He just elbow dropped me in my stomach. But we all you guys measured them based upon the drip or the aesthetic of the Pokemon, and I was over here like, this is what they can do.
Yeah, you actually have the real stats behind all these dudes because you play with them.
Yeah, so I'll just say, I see where y'all coming from. When it comes to the drip, I'm with War Turtle too.
Yeah.
But when it comes to what they do when it's about time for that action,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Ivysaur is probably the most truth you're gonna find in that group.
Yeah.
Has that been displayed on? I know maybe the cards, but has that been displayed on the show? Ivysaur getting active and watching one of these two?
I never really watched the show, so for me, I just played the card game, and played the video game, and also played Super Smash Brothers, which Ivysaur is the choice that you get when you play that game as well. So that's what I know.
Okay.
Would you say Venusaur, from a card perspective, is dope as hell though, or no? Is he still weak?
Well, the thing is, if you're looking at the base set, what makes all 3 of those cards special is that they all do special thing with energy. If you don't know what Charizard, the cool thing about the Charmeleon evolutions is that you can put a Charmeleon group, or I'm so tired, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard group into any deck of any type, because all 3 of them, the first 2 of them have colorless attacks, so they can take any energy and they can still mess people up with any type of attack that you want. And then also what Charizard, as you know, he had Energy Burn and Fire Spin. Energy Burn was his Pokemon power, which meant that any energy attached to him is counted as fire energy. So that made it so you can use double colorless energies and get all the energies you need to be able to blow somebody to pieces with a Charizard with 2 energy cards instead of 4, like you would normally need to do that, because you also have to discard all the energy after you do it with Charizard, after you do 100 damage with Fire Spin. With Venusaur, what you can do is you can move, like when you play the game, you only can normally put 1 energy down per turn. And with Venusaur, you can move those energies throughout your bench Pokemon and your Pokemon that's active as whenever you want during your turn, which is insane.
Yeah.
And then with Blastoise, you can attach as many energies as you want at any point. So you can have all these water Pokemon out with no energies, and somebody's like, I'm about to wash you. And you're like, that's so funny. And then just drop like 7 energies on everybody and just be like, yeah, that's crazy. Because, Blastoise needs 6 energies to do his maximum damage, and I just suddenly just dropped 6 on you, bro.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, feel every piece of it. So
You fucking nerd.
Like, I'm saying they all had a different reason why they were dope. The one that I found to be most powerful was Blastoise when it came to the cards. But if you're talking about what Ivysaur could do versus War Turtle had low HP and couldn't hang. You know what I'm saying? Charmeleon had too much of a energy waste, and Ivysaur was just ready for the smoke.
That boy Blastoise did pull up at his last evolution with 2 of them things on him.
He did.
Yeah, on his hands. Yeah, I saw that.
Double barrel.
Lay your ass out.
All right, man. So that is a poll for this week, man. You guys ready to jump into the last? Did you watch the last 2 episodes of My Hero, Brennan?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Okay,
All
cool.
right.
We're gonna jump to the last 2 episodes of My Hero Academia. Rob's recap for the possible last time. Let's
The
go.
recap Reaper himself.
The recap Reaper. I love that. All right. So we start out in a flashback. The students of Class 1A are talking with Endeavor and UA's principal about, bringing Deku back into the fold at UA. Principal says that he's sure people will, be safe with their defensive upgrades from Shigaraki. Not only do they have similar security to Tartarus, but after the prison's fall, he upgraded the whole thing with a whole bunch of personal upgrades that he basically makes each segment of the campus mobile. If there's an attack, section goes into a reinforced underground transporter that will take that entire section to a safe place at another super school. He says that, that should help against Shigaraki's immense powers, but Endeavor says that we'll still have a lot to do to convince the refugees taking shelter there that it's a good idea. Back in the present, the students are in front of an angry mob that demands to know why Deku is being allowed in. Best Jeanist tries speaking out in his defense, but, he just needs a place to rest, but the crowd won't hear it. Araraka then floats to the top of the building, makes a speech, tugging at the crowd's heartstrings. The Deku doesn't want to endanger these people, like him last of all, he wants to put them in danger, but the effort of him going out there and all out is going to eventually kill him. She thinks back to being a child and how she realized that the heroes, help the civilians to keep them smiling, but it's the civilians that keep the heroes smiling with their support. Without that, the heroes fall away. Much like they have now during these dark times. She begs them to let this place be a safe place, not only for them, but for Deku, who is fighting for them, and finally her words start to have an impact, as many in the crowd recognize Deku from earlier times that he saved them. A couple, including Koda, the child from the Super Summer Camp, and the heteromorph girl that he had just helped an episode or two ago earlier, run from the crowd, apologize to him, thank him for all his work, and in that moment, another in the crowd, the spike-headed man from episode 1 of this show steps forward and says that for too long they have been in the audience while the heroes do the protecting, and that they have as a society have forgotten the real people behind the masks and the cape that need their support. And if they can't do that, the world will never go back to the way it was. The skeptic that's been leading the angry crowd asks Deku if he'll be able to fix things, and he says that he and his friends will fight to get it all back, and they finally accept them and bring him into rest. The principal then calls Eraserhead, now sporting an eye patch and a prosthetic leg, to update him on the situation. He's proud of his class and tells the principal he has continued to work on connecting with his old friend Kurogiri to see if the Nomo process can be reversed. So far, there's been no real significant progress, but they do hold out hope. They also have implemented a plan for Toga by keeping everybody who goes in and out of the UA campus for a quarantine period to see if her morphing powers start to wear off. Also, seeing that his protege is safe, All Might leaves UA to see if he can reason with the anti-hero groups still located around the city, see if he can get them to maybe join the refugees at the school. As he leaves, though, Stain watches from a nearby rooftop. All Might retrieves Deku's mask that he lost while trying to escape his classmates, and seeing the statue of himself with the "I'm not there" sign, or "I'm not here" sign around his neck, he goes into a real funk. He's doubting himself, his ability to help Deku or anyone, based on the whole fact that the world that he built and protected is falling down around him, quite literally. He goes to leave, but is stopped by Stain, who accuses him of putting the sign on and blaspheming the heroes. He tries to explain to Stain that, I am All Might, but Stain won't hear it, and further threatens him for pretending to be All Might.
It's me.
All Might tells him, hey, do your worst. But as Stain lifts his sword, he only uses it to point out a woman who has approached the statue to clean it and remove the sign. All Might asks who that woman is, and Stain says that is the last person All Might saved. And she comes out here every day, risking her life to make sure that this tribute to him is clean. Stain says that is the legacy All Might left behind, building a better and more just world for others, inspiring others to do the same. Stain then gives him this information he stole from Tartarus, tells him, if you really are All Might, use this information to get Shigaraki and All for One, and then you come find me, the dude that killed 40 heroes, and we'll fucking settle this shit.
Damn. That's hard.
Yeah.
Gangster.
Back at UA, the students help Deku to get cleaned up and rested. While he's thankful for his friends, Deku thinks that he owes All Might an apology for how he's treated him when he was being a vigilante. He has an opportunity to make good, though, as an inspired All Might returns after his interaction with Stain and tells him that he just wants to help in the final fight, even in his current form, however he can. After he leaves, Deku finally falls asleep on the couch. The other students start to talk about how they're going to overcome their PR problem. They basically need to come together and show the world that they aren't so bad, just like they did with their fellow classmates at the festival. And when Deku wakes up the next day, his friends stand around him, ready to support him and help him in the fight. Elsewhere, Endeavor, Hawks, and Best Jeanist work on deciphering the information from Stain. We see in flashbacks the night of the Tartarus prison break, Stain was murdering villains as they fled the prison. He soon ran into a security guard clinging to these memory cards as he was dying. Stain took the memory cards and promised him that he would deliver them to someone who could help him bring justice. He then spent his time outside the prison hunting down All Might in order to give him the memory cards. As they go through the information, though, All Might comes to a horrible conclusion that as all this time that they've been, catching these prison breakers, Shigaraki Shigaraki and All for One have been getting Shigaraki's body ready so the two can work better in concert together, sharing their psyches, and it seems that the transformation will be complete in only 3 days. The World Council gathers to discuss how to handle this problem, as it seems like Japan is not the only place in trouble. All for One had agents stashed around the world, and they've all been dealing with their own crises. Send their own heroes to help Japan would just make their own people less safe and their own situation worse. On top of that, there's tons of paperwork and red tape for countries to send their own heroes. We hear from heroes like Egypt's Salam and Singapore's Big Red Dot want to come, but they can't. However, there is one hero that decided to ignore the legalities and come to Japan. America's #1 hero and former All Might protege, Stars and Stripes, comes down. We see her leading a fleet of stealth bombers on her way to help. America!
America!
Fuck yeah!
I just that moment right there meant so much to me because they always make an anime Japan the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's always like Japan is the world, and they're like the #1 hero, the #1 hero, the #1 hero of what? There's a question now that we have to ask. It's like, is All Might the #1 hero of the world, or is he the #1 hero of Japan? Because they didn't really specify that. Because now we're realizing like all these heroes we're looking at are all these Japanese heroes, and we even know that All Might spent time in the United States. So for me now, I'm just like, well, how many heroes are there in the world, and also how many factions does All for One have? Does that mean that Japan has been made the center of the hero world, but isn't necessarily the strongest? You know what I'm saying? Because that woman was standing on a stealth bomber in the air.
Speed.
Chilling.
Yeah.
You understand the strength and the balance to do that while it's flying? Like, I get it as a visual, but just like power wise, like she's probably ridiculous.
Yeah, it may because I think we talked about this a little bit before, but like I was thinking like, yo, if this once this season is or once this arc is, this last arc is done, they can go to any other country now at this particular point and go into their world.
Yeah.
Like you said, they can do it in Africa or someplace in Africa. They can go in Europe. They can go, like you said, to Australia. They can go anywhere. They can go to America. They can go anywhere else and now explore their world and with their villains and what they go through, which is what I would be super excited to see. Which is why it shows that they only have one black person. That's why we don't. Why only have one black hero? It's like, okay, they're in Japan. It's like, all right, this makes sense. They got the lock guy. He's right from the military. You know what I'm saying? He was stationed out there. He's like, oh, I'll be a hero, I guess. Shit, fuck it.
Why not?
I'm in
I'm
Okinawa.
the #1 hero in Jamaica.
And so yeah, that's a pretty good that's some pretty good information. But let's jump into these questions, man.
Hold on, one time for Rob.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
of
appreciate
Might
it.
be the
course.
last.
Thank you for that last. Possibly the last recap, Rob.
Oh, yeah, man. My
Always
pleasure.
good, tight, short, sweet. No, there's some pauses in there somewhere.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Always tight, short and sweet. Damn.
Hey man, you know what? No pause, bro. It's the last episode.
I'll
man.
take it.
Hey,
You'll take it? All right,
Rob,
cool.
I'll take it.
Rob, I don't know if that's the wording. Okay.
I
I just don't know if that's the wording you wanted to use after what he just. Okay,
Man,
please
she had
continue,
the,
guys.
I will
She
take
was
it.
the shortest, and she had the sweetest, tightest.
All right, man. So let's jump into these questions of My Hero Academia, man. So do you think All Might can take on Stain in a 1v1 right now, 1v1 in his current condition, Rob?
Man, it would. When he was just like, "Oh, come find me," I'm like, "Oh, that's how All Might's gonna die." Like, because Stain is still in his prime.
Yeah.
And All Might is hurting. Like he transformed for a second and immediately, like, just to be like, "Hey, I can still like flex a little bit," but he's immediately coughing up blood. His powers are out. What I think All Might could do to potentially beat Stain is what we've seen how he's been helping Deku. Is he's still just like, I still know like a bunch of, basically tech people. Like he's got like James Bond Q in the lab somewhere still making up like tech for him that can help amplify powers, build him up, and like his mind is still good.
Yeah, you
His
call him
mind-
Tony Stark?
he needs to call on Tony Stark, help him get some tech that he can go one last round or something. Because like
Give him an All Might Buster suit.
he upstairs, I think he's all there, and I think he could easily like go toe to toe with Stain as long. It's the physicality that becomes a problem, and I think that's where. But obviously, we've seen there's a lot of support items. I think we've only really barely scratched the surface of what these support items can do.
Yeah.
Even seeing what Deku has with his like his arm protecting cuffs that All Might got him. If he can, get him an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Get him in some Stark tech, and I think he handles Stain no problem.
Interesting. All right. Brandon, what about you? What you think, man?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. I think that I agree with Rob. The only way this is going to happen is with support items or support friends, like, and a lot of potions.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I think that All Might has something. He still has something in the tank, and I agree that this is probably how we're going to end All Might. But he's going to do it in a way that's going to make sure that Stain does everything in his power to support the heroes and what they need to be able to defeat All for One. And so I think this is going to be really sad. I think it's going to be really epic. And I think that, All Might is going to show us why he's All Might. That's what I think is going to happen. Like, I think we saw a glimpse of it when we saw him fight All for One.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I think that's what Stain was really getting at. And like, shout out to All Might though for throwing the verbal smoke at Stain when he had the sword to his throat.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh yeah, you're the guy who didn't show himself until I was done fighting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You talk about the realness and all this other kind of stuff. You waited until I was hurt and
Pussy.
I couldn't do it no more to show up, and now you got something to say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, talking tough now, huh?
How did Stain? How did he get locked up? Was in that alley with
By the that's what I would have said too. I'd be like, oh, so you're talking junk after you got beat by the kids at the school that I teach at, and you over here talking about, he's like, well, I killed 20 heroes. The children defeated you.
Yeah, the children locked.
The
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
But
Why- like,
he
what's
still
up?
had Endeavor Shook though.
He did.
Remember, he had Endeavor Shook still, locked up
Yeah,
in
I mean, he did.
chains.
He did.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still lost because of the kids.
Yeah,
He did. He did.
All right,
But now,
Deku
I mean, the
got
thing is, real talk. He was like, if I'm All Might, I'm just bringing Deku.
You
Simple
lost to
as
All
that.
Might Jr.
Right.
yeah, before he was even All Might Junior
Yeah.
for real.
He wasn't even.
Yeah.
He wasn't even there yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice.
I don't know, man. I think Stain. I think with him being gone all these seasons, we kind of forgot what a dog he was. Yeah, they packed him up in that alley, but he had them against the ropes, and it took everything for them to survive that.
Mm-hmm.
And he got Ingenum brother up out of here too.
yeah.
Like he put him in a fucking pack.
Did.
So
Paralyzed.
I think, yeah. So I think that for Stain, he's going against a very diluted version of All Might. So I think he can get him out of here. If it's going to be one of those. I think they cancel each other out. I think he don't get those support items, and All Might goes full Cal in that one last time, gets Stain up out of there, but in the process gets himself up out of there.
I can see that.
I can feel that. Like, and then they just kind of, and then he has that, Deku pulls up at the last second to see his dying body or his dying, like, you take care of yourself and remember friends. And then,
Family, friends.
and then that'll be it.
I mean,
You seen it though. You know what happens, right?
yeah, but stuff is still going on. All Might needs about a split second to be full All Might and super sock him in the
And
head.
that's what I think. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that,
It just takes
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just get that one, but like, hey, what you want to do now? I'm super socking you into space, and the fight is over, bro. I'm not
Because
playing
he's still a
games with you.
human.
Yeah,
In a sense.
yeah, he ain't got no extra curricular powers after that.
Unless One for All, All for One gave it to him, gave him some stuff, but I don't think he did. It looked like he got out. He just left. He didn't talk to him.
Staying on some like,
Yeah.
staying on some just like, yo, I don't really fuck with either one of y'all for real.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the that's the vibe.
I don't
Yeah.
like that. What's going on over there either? So it's like, I'm doing what I'm doing. I think he's killed some villains also.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he has.
Yeah.
I mean, because they showed that like when he was
when they was
leaving, there
breaking
was
out,
one guy
yeah.
going like, "Oh, I'm gonna get all these girls,"
Yeah,
and then
slice 'em
Stain
up.
sliced its throat.
He didn't
Yeah.
even want to smoke with
Yeah.
Stain. He was just like, I just want to get some bitches, bro.
Yeah.
Where the hoes at?
Not tonight.
Yeah. Tony's, All right, next question. Does this season, after watching this season, which is a pretty good season, does it make you want to jump into the manga, or do you want to still wait for everything to be animated? Ice.
I want to get into the manga. I think obviously you want number one because it is very interesting, and I need to talking frequently to the Spoil King himself, Keenan. The Spoil King himself. He's kind of said some things that's like made me kind of excited. He hasn't spoiled anything. He didn't spoil anything, but he was like, "Yo, these they getting active." So it's like he said a couple things, and I haven't seen him this excited about a manga since like Demon Slayer. So I think that made me want to do it, but also too, I guess this is kind of a knock at My Hero, but they don't have the level of animation to a Demon Slayer that makes me want to wait. Like, I can understand somebody maybe waiting for a Demon Slayer because Demon Slayer's animation is unmatched. But the animation on there is cool. They pick their spots like most animes do, but I don't think it's so crazy that it's like, man, you know what? I'm gonna just take this L and wait a year to see it animated.
Yeah, you're gonna because I'll just say this I keep saying this when this shit gets animated, bro. Like they're getting. I mean, there's a little. I mean, this doesn't show you anything, but like this is like the new chapter, and it's a character, and it's just like they're getting active, bro. That's Asagirl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting active. It's
Yes.
just it's literally all smoke, no breaks. You thought what you saw previously in this season, it's way more stuff and it's way more stakes. And I can't when My Hero does animate, they animate top fucking tier
Man.
It's great.
in their fight scenes. So
Acid Girl too she's got some making up
I have
to
a
do.
question. I have a
for
quick side
sure.
question.
Go ahead.
Who do you guys think has better voiceover performances in Japanese? My Hero or Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer.
That's harder just to say like that, man. I can't just easily say that because
Both of them are
I'm
great.
gonna say My Hero.
Nah.
Why? Okay, what is your push for My Hero? And who is?
Well, I mean, just that one Daijove, Midoriya. You know what I'm saying? Like when he fought the muscle guy the first time, that was probably the most intense voice acting experience I've had when it comes to watching anime. Period. Like I don't know anything that ever made me feel more than that.
Not
scene
going Hunter
when
Hunter
it comes
going
to
against
No.
Miso?
No. The thing is, because it's like I felt those things, but I'm saying this is the one that made me feel the most. Was that particular moment when he was just like, I got you. It's okay. We're going to be fine. Daijove. Like to the point where I learned the phrase in Japanese because of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I speak a little more Japanese because of that phrase.
I would say.
So for me,
my bad.
that for me is like, I was just like, yo, the voice acting in My Hero is top tier. And the animation in Demon Slayer is top tier.
I mean, I think they're both top tier voice wise too. What were you going to say, Ice?
I think it's Demon Slayer by a mile. I think just because though, and we got to see homie do it live, but I think as much as I give Tanjiro shit, that the sight through the mouth and him gargling and talking and doing that and why he's like messed up.
Yeah.
I think that was great. That fucking the upper six demon talking to Tanjiro, like like his fucking voice. I was like, yo, this is dreadful. Like he sounded how he looked.
Yeah, he did.
Like if you close your eyes and listen to Upper Six, and then you open your eyes and saw that, you was like, he looks just like it.
Yeah, that's the match.
This is an ugly person. So it's like everybody, Daki talking, everybody, even the Serpent Pillar at the end talking shit, Tengen, everybody matched and you felt it. Zenetsu's crying, but to the point where it's comedic, because you take a character like that, it's really contingent upon the voice acting, because Zenetsu can get really annoying or really lovable, and I think we love him because he gets active, but also too hearing how he says certain things makes him hilarious. And Nosuke sounding being like.
Yeah,
every character matches how they sound, and that's Nosuke matches with the mask on.
Exactly,
he doesn't match without the mask.
Exactly.
He's completely. It looks completely off.
Which again, is fantastic voice acting.
Yeah, Rob, how you feel about that? Question?
I do think it's close, just because I think it's the sheer size of the cast with My Hero.
Yeah,
but I might give Demon Slayer a slight edge because I mean I don't know that those are all great points, and like I can't think of like with. I have to give it to the edge because I'm just like the voice acting for Bakugo specifically made me hate that character for a while. Like, not that person is a bad actor, but it's just like he's a lot.
You think he's worse than Zenetsu early on?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's close.
Yeah, they're neck and neck for
they're
annoyance.
Very close. I'm gonna give Demon Slayer the slight edge though.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I do think like what Brendan was saying. Like, there's so much range in My Hero, and I mean even with All Might's voice, just always being in heroic mode, like the whole time being like, I'm going to always sound like I'm your savior, even if I'm not doing as well as I am. Yeah. I'm going to always sound like I'm your hero. I'm going to always put on a smile. And but you bringing up that Upper Moon 6, like, dog, that
does a lot of lifting.
That is some of the best voice acting that I've seen from a character in anime, because like you said, that he was giving me chills when I was just like, ooh, this just sounds creepy, bro.
While kicking Tanjiro around.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And so that I think that particular voice actor, because I don't know if anybody else went to that level in My Hero. I mean, Overhaul's voice when he's fighting towards the end, it was just like, oh, like he sounded kind of dope too. And I mean, and Shigaraki, what he's fighting now, when he was fighting going crazy too, he sounded kind of dope. He sounded fire also. But yeah, that's just a little bit more. It's just a little bit more of an edge on Demon Slayer. But back to Ice's question. You finished your answer, right, Ice?
Yeah.
Let's go over to Brendan so we just keep getting him. Does this season of My Hero make you want to watch want to read the manga after before it's animated?
I hate my answer to this question.
Yeah.
Keenan's gonna love this answer. Is I actually could not help myself,
You start reading?
and I didn't read the manga. What I did was a little bit of research on Stars and Stripes. I just needed to know more about this hero. Like, she was standing on that jet, and I was just like, "What are her powers?" That's all I wanted to know. What are her powers? What's her quirk? And I came out with more questions than answers.
Okay.
So you gonna
That's
read
what
the
I said.
manga?
So I'm not going to. But all I'm saying is that's about as far as I've ever gotten, or closest I've ever gotten to doing something like that. That's like me researching a hero that we weren't told anything about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And nothing came across your palate after that. You got no spoilers, nothing. Luckily.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely there was some spoilers.
Oh.
And learning her powers.
Damn.
That's why Keenan knows. I'll say right now is that in me learning what her powers are and how they affect the rest of everything, there's no way to avoid the idea of a spoiler. As well, that's it. I'll just say is that it wasn't a big spoiler. I don't know how big of a spoiler was. I don't know. But it looking up somebody, I don't know why they write people's profiles like this or heroes' profiles like this. They kind of just say, this is what it ends up being this person.
And they also have it like where it says alive or dead, and it'd be
Yeah.
like,
Oh my God. I can't tell you how many times writing recaps I'm just like, oh, okay, well, they don't make it. It happens.
Yeah, it's like I don't know why they do that. That should be on the bottom. Because for me, I just want to know powers and abilities.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me about living or dying. Don't tell me about like what happens with their why their personality is what it is. Like, don't tell me about their relationship with All Might or with All for One. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know what their powers are. And then in learning what her powers are, I don't really know what her powers are. That's what I'm gonna say. I read her powers, still don't understand.
Yeah.
Which Keenan, you probably can understand what I'm saying with that.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Rob?
I read her powers. I still do not comprehend what her powers are.
I
in
want to
fact.
know what the principal's powers are.
They talk a little bit about he's like a master strategist, which is plays into how he rigged up the school to be able to be so safe. I guess he came up with this big plan because
he has a super brain.
Yeah, he's the only because he's not a human. He's the only animal on record to have a quirk. And he was experimented on. They talked about it a little bit. I forget which season, but one of the earlier ones where the students had to go through some sort of test that he ran, and he's like, I mean, I don't know if I can compare him to another anime character. I feel like that would be, but if it's somebody who's that dude on Naruto? You know who I'm talking about?
Shikamaru.
Shikamaru. He might be similar to him, where he's just a master strategist, and his quirk is being able to analyze things to be I know how to attack this in every single way.
I thought he had this crazy quirk that he like a Yamamoto type of thing where you gonna have to wait and see later how I go crazy.
They talked about it. He's and that was part of the reason I thought that maybe he could possibly be the inside man for the villains. Is that it's essentially a form of super intelligence. He's essentially super smart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already reading the manga, but if I wasn't, I'll tell you this, I'll be reading the manga after this. Because now I would have to know, because I feel like since we're that close to, I feel like I would want to know, all right, now, how is this fight going to end?
Yeah.
And for me, reading the manga doesn't necessarily hurt me. Like I said, if it's good, it gets me more hyped to want to know what's going to happen next.
There's never been a situation where watching it animated was lessened by reading the manga.
For me, when I've read the manga, I've been like, yo, I gotta see this. When we're talking about Demon Slayer, even y'all feel me. It's y'all want to see the next arcs, and like I said, rereading some of this stuff, even season 3 might be better than what we think it's gonna be actually. Remember we kept saying this is gonna be better than season. Is it gonna be better than season 1 or
we were
not?
saying this is the weakest season, and
I don't know if it's gonna be after re-looking at some stuff and then how they might animate it in the fight scenes. So this might be kind of a harder question to answer, and if you can't, just I guess give your favorite season.
Rob, would you read the manga?
I probably won't. Not to go against it, but just because I did have a little bit of the opposite reaction where I'm I enjoyed reading Demon Slayer, but there was a part of me sitting in that movie theater. I was I wish I was watching this for the first time. Just getting to have that wonder of like, oh my God, this is so new and it's so big versus like there's one and that's not to say like I didn't enjoy those things, but to have that much like sound and
Say
visual
it slower, Rob. Say
happen
it
at the
slower.
same like for the first time I'm like, I do wish I kind of was seeing this. For the
You would have
first
to wait
time.
another 2.5 years to see the next one, and then another 2.5
That's okay.
years
I
to see
got
the next
plenty
one.
of I got plenty of stuff to watch. All right, I don't need to
Worth the-
mainline it. I'll
worth
be
the
all right.
wait.
I'll be all right.
Man,
Go watch
Rengoku
One
dies.
Piece, bro. You're good.
go watch One Piece. All right, so yeah, this might be a little tough to answer right now because it is. If you probably remember how the seasons went, but if you can't, just answer your favorite season in, I guess, My Hero.
I mean, I ranked them out
You ranked them out? Okay,
from
cool.
1 to 6 personally.
Okay, so yeah, what are your
Yeah,
One-
this was season 6.
season 6?
Oh.
What are your rank your favorite My Hero seasons, man? So for me, I got season 6 number 1.
Yeah.
I actually got season 2 number 2.
Me too.
I have season 3 number 3. I have season
I got
season
we're
5.
in alignment, by the way.
Yeah, I have season 5 number 4.
Okay.
Okay. And I have season well, go ahead.
What'd you say, Brennan?
One. No, go ahead. I'm just saying.
Okay.
And what I have season 3 and 4 left, right?
Yeah.
I
Or
have
1 and 4.
1 and 4. No, yeah. I have season 1 next to that one, then season 4 last. For sure. Because season 4 was the one
Mine's
with
the
the
same as yours.
season 4 was the one with the
Student festival.
yeah.
But
get
it
that-
had overhaul.
fuck.
That's how
That's where yeah.
that's how I broke
Yeah,
it
I was
down.
gonna say.
Because season 1 had that fire ass, but yeah, that's better than that though. I gotta switch those two because I did like. I mean, Brendan kicked it off with that. Brendan kicked us off with that fight with the Nomu.
All
and
Might
with-
versus Nomu. Yeah, I get
but
it.
that's not as
Nomu.
big as fucking Overhaul. Overhaul, I probably still watch that fight scene one of the most out of all the fight scenes from that season.
I get it.
from this show.
Yep.
So yeah, those are my order. You got yours ranked. What do you
I
have
do,
yours
I do
ranked
have
as?
them ranked, and
Yeah.
it's very similar. I had number 1, season 6 is one we just watched. 2, season 2 is my second one. That's the student tournament
Yep.
in Stain.
Mhm.
3 for me was 3.
Mhm.
It's the summer camp, and then All Might versus All for 1.
Yep.
Season 4 was my number 4 with Overhaul and the student festival. It would have been higher if not for the student festival. Let's just be honest.
Yep.
Number 5, I have season 1, which is the intro in Eraserhead versus All Might, and Eraserhead and All Might versus the Nomu.
Mhm.
And then season 5, I have in last with the hero level up and the My Villain Academia. I thought the season finished strong, but like,
Yeah.
as far as like the first half of that season, other than Deku unlocking his multiple quirks, none of that has really been important in this season at all, including that new student, which is kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. Brennan, are you still looking?
No, I actually fully agree with Rob's list. That's the list that I would have made. I was saying you and I were good, Keenan, and up until you started like disrespecting, what's his name, Overhaul. I was like, wait, hold on a second, bro. Like, yeah, it had the stupid band, which I can understand washes it for
Yeah.
you, but bro, Overhaul, like you said, whew,
Yeah.
like that power, the exchange, the effect, Lemillion.
Wait,
You know what I'm saying? Like-
I swapped it for season 1, but
He did.
Yeah.
He swapped it.
Ice.
Yeah, I think
know,
I'm
but
gonna
still,
go-
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna go 6. 6. I don't know, man. 6-3,
Mm-hmm.
6-3, 4-2.
Ooh, 2 that far back?
You got 1 and 5.
5-1.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that.
So you
That-
think the first season? You think the first season is the worst season of My Hero Academia?
Yeah, Deku almost lost me.
Yeah,
he
I
did too.
Those are the
Yeah.
2 seasons that I heard people mostly being like, either Deku cries too much, I can't get into the show, or what is this show doing this season? I think I might be out.
This
Our
only
seasons 1
reason,
and 5.
only reason I'm watching My Hero because I stopped watching My Hero because of Deku is because y'all put me on the podcast and y'all was watching it.
Man,
So I was like, fuck, I got to catch up to know what they're talking about.
there you
That's
go.
the only reason I started back watching it.
Yeah. I think Brennan's frozen.
He looking like, hey, girl, what's going on, baby?
Hey,
What's up, girl?
I'm in town.
He looked like all he got on is that hoodie.
That's when you had no drawers, just no bottoms under.
No.
You back, Brennan? Can you hear us?
He just got on
Yes,
there.
I hear you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You want me to flip the camera, baby?
The hey, I'm in town is hilarious. Hey, I'm in your city.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in my. What's up, girl? You all right? You all right?
You see I'm at home.
How
You
y'all
see the
doing?
bed frame.
You see, I'm back home. You know?
Bro.
Look, you see Lincoln. You see my son. You know what I'm saying? You know I shoot fire. What you trying to get?
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? We out here.
That was my
Who's trying
go-to
to
when I
get
used to come back
pregnant?
from college. But like, hey, I'm back in the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This was popping. It's so corny and cringe when I think about it now. All right. So yeah, next question. What rematch are you most likely looking forward? Were you most looking forward to for the final Heroes versus Villains showdown? And damn it, let me tell you something. I've seen some of them, so I want to hear from you guys. Rob,
Man, this is tough too, because like I know you're saying like, oh, there might be a lot going on before we get into the final, but like, for me, I'm mostly looking forward to Todoroki and Dabi.
Yeah.
That for me is like that's the premier matchup.
like
Like
goddamn shit.
we know like obviously Deku and Shigaraki are headed for each other, but like that family drama and seeing how that's going to work out, that's a big draw for me, and I really can't wait to see what happens with that.
Oh man, some of the better panels I've seen, man, it's they're going to go down, and that's not a spoiler because you know they're going to clash.
I mean, you know
they're clashing, but damn it, they're going to fucking clash.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
great. Brennan, back on screen, man. What about you? What fights are you willing to see, waiting to see again between the heroes and villains, the rematches?
Honestly, I'm really looking forward to the Dabi Endeavor and his son, like the
And
sons
Todoroki.
and the dad
Yeah.
fight. Obviously, All For One for All, All Might, Stain. All of them are gonna be great. But Dabi, I think he threw down the biggest gauntlet out of anybody I've seen in memory.
Mm.
Like he literally was like, "I'm not gonna just ruin you. I'm gonna ruin everything you stand for, built, and supported forever in the most powerful way possible, so everybody knows about it." Come get the smoke.
Yeah.
So I just want to see what that smoke looks like. So for me, the stakes for them are as high as anybody else's. Obviously, All For One versus One For All is like the control of the world or whatever. But like if All For One and One For All happens, and let's say Deku wins, but Endeavor loses, like the heroes still lose in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they've lost the public opinion and the idea and the love of the public. And they never exposed Dabi for what he actually is and what he did and what actually really did happen.
Mhm.
So I think that fight is as important, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Ice.
Who are? Oh,
You can still talk, but you just can't hear Brennan.
okay. So I would say Dabi, but what are all the rematches?
The rematches would be the Gravity Girl versus
Toga.
Toga.
Yep.
Uraka.
Uraka. You would have Dabi and what's the name? Todoroki. You'll have, of course, Shigaraki, and then Deku. You'll have who else was in there? I can't say much.
Because Bakugo's not really going against nobody like on his own. It was a lot of people just versus Shigaraki.
That's true.
Is Mirko? Did Mirko die?
No, she's just badly injured, I think.
I want
Yeah,
to see
the
Mirko. I want to see Mirko come back. I like her.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. The only person that died was the other giant
I mean, a
girl.
bunch of people died, but
Yeah.
like as
Miss
far as
Midnight
like
died.
Miss Midnight
Midnight,
died, and Crust died, and
Well, nobody
like,
wants to see Eraserhead get after it with the new leg.
That was what I was about
Can
to. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I mean, in middle leg, he just said he can't jump as high as Mirko, but he's still fine.
Yeah.
he said he can essentially operate that. I mean, they got the technology for him and his leg to probably be even possibly better with his metal leg, bro.
I'm worried about him. I'm worried.
One
about him.
eye. I mean, your shit is your eyes. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough.
He got one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got
Shot in the leg.
he got hit in the leg, and he got fucked up in the eye too.
He cut off his own leg once.
Yeah,
they hit him
I
with
see-
the eraser
with the
round.
repeater. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think he got like hit in the eye too.
Yeah, because Shigaraki grabbed his face and
Yeah.
just like, I'll just tear your face
And he
straight
kinda-
off.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yes, that happened.
So he
yes.
lost
Yeah.
one of his eyes.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's spoils.
No.
I was like, oh shit.
No. They showed him with the eye patch. They
Yeah,
showed
I
him
was
with the eye patch.
saying, swear to show them with the eye patch. Yeah, man.
Knock him out the park, Rick.
Yeah, man. I from what I've seen, and I'm just like this Todoroki fight, this Shoto Todoroki and his brother, they're getting the fuck after it. Like I said, it's some of the best panels that I've seen drawn in a while. And yeah, it's just, man, it's a lot of fucking fire. It's a lot of fucking fire, man. They're getting after it.
Literally.
literally, figuratively, all that stuff, man. They're getting the fuck after it, and it's gonna. I think it's all gonna be. I think a lot of these fights gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think even the fights that you don't know of yet, that are like, I don't care to see this person fight. Who's this hero? It's like, nah. Everybody has stakes.
Yeah.
Because literally, it's the final battle. It's the final countdown. It's like, all right, it's life or death in this bitch. So everybody's going like, all right, we got to go balls to the wall. I got to do this. I got to step up to whatever level I need to step up to, and it's going to go there.
Damn. I wonder if there's gonna be, don't tell me, like an All Might. I mean, it's not All Might. All for One Shigaraki fight.
Like if they face off, I can see that.
Because they still having that internal battle.
He's just like, you're not my real dad.
Yeah.
Just like socks him out or something. I could see that.
All right. So next question. Is there any My Hero? Is there any way My Hero can drop the ball at this point? So we had a fire ass season 6, probably one of the best seasons that we've seen in anime in general. But can they drop the ball at this point and ruin this show? Because it seems like they made up for some bad episodes and some seasons with this one. So can they ruin it now? Ice.
I think if they deviate from the manga and add filler, I think that's a surefire way to lose a lot of people.
Certainly.
If they do how they did season 4 or season 5, excuse me. Well, both seasons if they do a festival or if they do some bullshit where it's like, we're friends, because you can't leave on those types of stakes. You can't have Stars and Stripes coming in on a fucking jet. So it's just like, you can't do all of those things and then be like, look at us making soup. And it's just like, all right. Like, I think that's really a way to do it. And if everybody lives, I feel like I would be very upset, because you can't put these level of stakes and then everybody leaves unscathed and the heroes just win everything. I think that's one way that they can drop the ball too.
Interesting. Oh man, I should have asked. All right, I guess I can still ask this question. Brennan, what do you think?
Yes.
Is there any way My Hero can drop the ball at this point?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, there's a way. I haven't read the manga, so I don't know what happens. You're excited about it, but whatever. But like, bro, are we just gonna act like Game of Thrones didn't happen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the easiest bag to fumble in the history, and they fumbled it worse than anyone could have imagined they ever would have. So for me, like that broke my faith in good writing, and it broke my faith in having faith in a show. I'm just like, no, you got to just prove it to me now.
Was that
Did that happen because it wasn't done, or like what?
Partly, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask you, was this whole season bad, or was this the last episode or two bad, but the season was good up until that last few episodes?
There's
no,
there was good episodes in there.
There was good episodes, but but they were leading to nowhere. You know
I can't necessarily
like, some dope
disagree
stuff
with that.
happened, but it didn't do what it was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, it would be like, do you guys care about spoilers for that show that came out years and years ago?
Nope.
Yeah.
Go for it.
No. Well, it would be like right now in My Hero Academia, if like let's say Bakugo killed All for One in episode 3, and there's still 7 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
Like that's
Bakugo
what it would be
does
like. If Bakugo killed All for One, like did something dope but killed him really quickly, and it was just over. And now it's like, all right, well,
that's
that
a
wasn't
little
even
bit of a
really-
mischaracterization of what happened, but not by much.
Not by that much.
But I was
come on, bro.
But I was still
Come
saying,
on.
Hey man, that was my favorite character you're talking about that did that cool thing, so I'm not gonna talk trash on that.
But is that character the one for all of that show?
This is not a Game of Thrones podcast. I can talk about this for a while. We're not gonna talk about this. We're not gonna unpack
All I'm
this.
saying,
Bro, I was getting triggered, bro. I love it.
The only reason you're saying this is because you don't like Bakugo. If I would have said Todoroki, you'd be fine.
Man, no, if
Either way.
Bakugo did,
That's my
if
point.
Bakugo was I was mad leaving that movie where they gave him One for All, and I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'd be mad. I'd be mad.
Rob,
All
man.
right. Just making sure.
Yeah, no, they definitely. I mean, exactly what Ice was thinking. Like when they had that scene and Audio Girl was just like, we just got to do what we did at the festival. I was like, Lord, please, no! Don't let this show end with a concert.
Oh man.
All right, they cannot have this show. Like, they can't beat Shigaraki with like the power of love in a concert. I really thought they were going to spend the last 15 minutes of that episode.
It could be a baseball game. Though.
Oh my God. I thought they were going to end that episode with like, oh, we're getting the band back together and we got to play a song for the refugees. And I was like, please don't. I'm so glad they resisted the urge because I know they thought about it.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm sorry.
Oh God, I'd kill myself.
I'm sorry to do this, man. But spoiler alert, man. This They end up playing a song and they all kumbaya together, and that's how it ends, man. That's the
funny.
last. That's the last episode. The manga right there is that they play a song and Shigarashi comes through. He's like, I just wanted to play with you guys this whole
my
time.
God.
I just wanted to play with you. The
Oh,
power
my
level.
God. You got a lot of Taco Bell dogs, Brennan.
That's funny. Well, that's so
random.
That's so random.
This
Only
is my
thing-
sister's room, actually.
I would
Okay.
hate for them to bring a bigger bad. I think that would piss me off.
But there's a bigger bad than All for One.
That's just,
Yeah,
like
I
hovering
get that.
off.
Yeah, that would piss me off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
That wouldn't even make sense.
No.
yeah, they can drop the ball, but like, I'm agreeing with Ice. All they literally the blueprint's there because the manga's almost done. You know what I'm saying? By the time they drop the season, or at least start animating the season,
Yeah.
the manga should be done. I feel like there's only like a few chapters left, and it's like Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is the same thing. You follow the manga, the blueprint's there. Just follow the shit. You got a W. You might end off as a top 5 or probably even a top 3 anime in most people's hearts.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm the same way. It's like all they gotta do is just follow the script. If they don't,
Just do your fucking job.
do your job. And if they don't, I will be one of the ambassadors of being like, this is the dumbest fucking show ever. Don't ever
God
watch
of
this
High
show.
School.
Yep. Worse than God of High School. I would put it worse than God of High School because you had the formula right there in front of you. I'm trying to ask this last question or ask this other question. Fuck, I'm gonna ask this other question. So I'm not gonna say anything. This is a question that you guys can answer. Name a character that you think is gonna survive or not survive in this last season, to season 7. I want to hear what you guys have to say of a character that you think is going to survive, that's not going to survive. And I'm not going to look at you. My head will be down. I will not make any noises, so you won't hear shit.
Any noise.
You won't hear shit from me, man. All right, so go ahead, Brendan. My head is down. Who do you think is not going to survive in this last arc?
Midoriya. I think Midoriya is going to die, and all for one, and I think both of them are going. All for one and one for all are going to mutually destroy each other, but leave a pathway towards a more just and beautiful world. I think that's what's going to end up happening, and I think it's going to have something to do with like supporting people that are regardless of their work and blah blah blah, something heartwarming. But I think Midoriya is going to have to put it all out there, and it's going to be an incredible ending where you see the final flash of all of the former users coming together. He's the last user, you know, and I think that's gonna end the show. Like they're going to all die. He might survive a few minutes later than All for One, but I think that Midoriya, he's got to go. I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna die in the most heroic way, and that's gonna be how they bring the original statement from season 1 back to how I become the greatest hero. Because they never said how I become number 1 hero. They said how I become the greatest hero, and Stain has been the one who's been defining for the show when it comes to keeping towing the line of saying what is actually a hero, because that's kind of what the show becomes about now, is what is a hero. He says it, the person who's willing to put everything on their line, no matter what they have or don't have, no matter what they can do or what they can't do, for someone else when they need it. And I think Midoriya is going to do that on a level that no one's ever seen, and that thus be known henceforth as the greatest hero.
The greatest fucking anime podcast in the entire world.
No, you already did it, right?
I know, but he had the headphones down.
You didn't have
So I had to hit him with it again.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I was just like, what's happening
Oh my
right
God.
now? What the fuck's happening? I mean, that's a good answer, and the manga's not even finished, so
I was gonna say you can't know that.
I can't even know that yet. So I can't even express anything on that. Ice, what do you think?
I think all those B tier characters, Acid Girl,
I knew, for some reason I knew you were gonna call out Acid Girl. I don't know why. I was like, he's about to kill Acid Girl.
yeah, all the B tiers, Acid Girl, Great Value Spider Man, all of those guys,
Mineta.
the Big Tail, all of them out of there. I
Yeah.
think Uraka dies. I think Endeavor dies. And Dabi dies, and I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and then Shigaraki. I want Shigaraki to die, but I don't think Deku got the gall to kill him. So I think the biggest death will probably be Endeavor on the hero side, and maybe Bakugo.
Rob,
You said I can pick somebody who's gonna die or live.
I mean, if you want, if you can pick both.
Purple bubble nuts. Sorry, that was
He lives.
No, Sir Spectacular Spider said
Purple bubble
Purple
nuts.
nuts, that's pretty funny.
hilarious.
Nah, he won't die. I think they'll keep him. I've been going back and forth on this. I think, because I think Dobby. I think they'll kill Dobby. I think he'll go away. I think he's too damaged to be turned around at this point. But like on the flip side of that, I was originally going to say Toga, but that she'll die. But I think they'll actually find a way to keep her and try to be like, oh no, Araraka figures out a way for them to be friends or something. Like I could see that happening. But I think she'll live. I think Dobby will go. As far as heroes, I mean, we've been waiting for All Might's going to go at some point. I think All Might's going to go. I think Deku will live.
Yeah, Deku should be fine.
I think Deku will live. And at this point, if Bakugo survived that last fight, I think it'd be pretty crazy for them to kill him off at this point. So I think he'll live too. That's kind of what I'm thinking for those guys. I wouldn't be shocked if they killed Ingenium though. You know, as their like class representative, the guy that I was always trying to do right. He's a prime candidate.
He's a B tier.
He's a prime candidate for like he matters enough that oh sorry, I made eye contact with you. It matters enough. He matters enough that you'd be sad if he went. I think I would be, but like he doesn't matter so much that like if he's off the table, like the whole game changes. So I think he's prime candidate number one for me. Ingenium, the more I talk about it, the more I'm convinced he's gonna go, and it had nothing to do with the eye contact.
All of you have some interesting answers.
Some interesting answers.
So let's get into our likes and dislikes for this episodes and our scores. And then I guess overall for the season, for season 6, your overall score for season 6. Brennan, man, go ahead, brother. Lead us off, man. Since you're the one that introduced us to this show, bro. So go ahead and lead us off with this.
Is he?
I mean,
Yeah, he did. He's the first one that he introduced the whole crew to My Hero Academia.
Not
at least
me.
I did.
Certainly me. I didn't know shit.
Not me.
Not me.
I'm sure. No, I mean, like, so I mean, this season I like the fights, I like the action, I like the stakes, I like the voice acting, I like the story building, I like the world building. I don't have any dislikes. I dislike that it's over. The pacing is probably the most impressive pacing I've seen in a season of anime, considering how much happened and how they were able to maintain what felt like a similar pace throughout, even though they did move the pace around. You know, especially towards the end of the season, and it still felt just as incredible. The way they ended the season with just like Deku literally just turning into Batman for the most part, and then, you know, bringing him back to where he needs to be, as well as establishing like what the hero's real plan is to an extent, and the stakes that they have to get over, as well as opening up the world to be significantly bigger than we've seen it to be thus far. I think all that is a win. I'm going to give this season an 8,900.
Wow.
No,
You take this over
8,800.
1,000 Year Blood War?
8,800. 8,800 because I need to have.
You broke up a little bit.
Yeah.
Say that again. Last part. You broke up.
Yeah. I said, yeah. This is, for me, this is better than the 1,000-Year Blood War.
Wow.
Because I'm looking forward to what comes next more than I was looking forward to what comes next.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That says a lot.
That's
crazy,
taking. That's
man.
saying a
1,000
lot.
What did I give that? 700?
Something like that.
86, 87, something like
Yeah,
that.
something.
Pretty high.
High 8,000s.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised you say that,
Yeah.
Brennan.
So, I mean, they're both incredible.
Okay.
Agreed.
I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like, Your Blood War is dope, but it was also shorter, and less happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. It's shorter and less happened. Was it as intense? Yes. But they were able to maintain the intensity for a longer period of time with a broader scope. So for me, that deserves it to be just a slight nudge ahead.
And it pulled a Attack on Titan, giving you a part 2 of the same season. It said 1,000 Blood Years said we're gonna come back for what, a part 2.
Part
of it.
two.
Yeah.
Final
Yeah.
season, part 2.
So you can go fuck
Yeah.
yourself. I mean, Ice, go ahead.
Exactly.
Ice, go ahead. What you feel?
I think, first and foremost, I want to shout out Rob, because Rob was one of the main people that got me back into it.
Oh, good.
Glad.
And you didn't give your scores for these last 2 episodes, I don't think.
Brennan?
Brennan, yeah. Just pick it up.
Oh, last 2 episodes?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the... yeah, I'm good. No, I'll say the last 2 episodes, I'm going to give it 8,100.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
they were great. They did a great setup, but, you know, they aren't on the level of what the rest of the season was. It was definitely a downturn, but not the best type of downturn. It was necessary. So it was a necessary thing that you got to do to be able to end the season, but not as good as when the action was at its highest.
Right. All right, Ice.
Yeah, like I was saying, I want to give a shout out to Rob, because I was just like season 4, fucking smoked me, man. I wasn't happy, and I was just like, yeah, I'm done. And I was off of My Hero for almost 2 years, and then Rob was like, I understand. But come back. Just come back. It's crazy right now. It was around the time of My Villain Academia was happening. He was like, so a couple things you got to get through, but once you get through that, I promise you, it's going to be lit. And then Keenan caught on, like he got caught up, and he started saying the same thing. But I was like, all right, cool. And I 100% agree. I had to get through the mud a little bit, but after I got through that mud, it was sunshine and rainbows. Not obviously in the show, but from an enjoyment factor.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the show.
No.
But shit got real, and I think it earned. I mean, for the past couple of years, I've been talking my shit about how My Hero fell out of the top 3, and I think this season has put itself, especially with Jujutsu Kaisen, taking such a long time to come back. My Hero has gotten their place back, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay saying that, especially with Attack on Titan taking a sweet time too, doing this half, not really, but I'm back, but I'm not. Watch out for Detox, like all of that shit. Like I think that My Hero has came back, and they came back with a bang. It's like, hold on, wait a minute, y'all thought I was finished, and I'm a big fan of My Hero. This season in particular, I feel like really solidified itself amongst the greats, especially the longer running animes. It really solidified itself. It made people really fuck with Deku. I think a lot of people up until this point, I guess the general consensus was like, people fuck with Deku, but he really wouldn't be in anybody's top 5, top 10 main characters. I think this season 6 kind of puts him somewhere in there. Maybe not top 5, maybe not number 1, but he's definitely in the conversation, especially Vigilante Deku. So I think all of that stuff encompasses with Dabi and Endeavor and all of that. I would say this is a great season. I would give it a 8,500. Last two episodes, they were cool, like a 76. Just finishing it off, giving us a little bit, but getting us hyped for the next season. So yeah, 8,500, 8,400, because I think I enjoyed Blood War more. But this is also great.
Rob.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. There's a lot to like. I will say, these last 2 episodes, I mean, they haven't been quite as pedal to the metal. Certainly, I think they found a way to end it on a high note. I think there was a lot that they did this episode that was just like, it felt a little bit like going through the motions. Like we knew we had to have this moment where like, oh, all the kids are back together again. Like, okay, like you could have fast forwarded that a little bit. But I mean, that being said, I really can't tell you. I don't know how much I was affected seeing Stars and Stripes riding in on those stealth bombers. I was like, "Fuck yeah, we're here, man! Yeah, we don't we don't need any paperwork. We're coming. You need some help, Japan? We're on the way." I really enjoy that. I can't wait to see what she gets up to. I'm very excited for where the show's gonna go.
I felt that exact same way. I just like to point out, I was like, America.
There we go. Like, and I'm not like an overly, I'm not America guy in general. So, but like this in the Olympics, I'm like, fuck yeah, we're number 1. So, I enjoyed the episodes, but definitely, I mean, this season started out just crazy, and I think it kept up the intensity for as longer than I thought possible, and then found a different kind of intensity that I think has really helped finish it out without keeping this without the same exact breakneck speed. I think they did a lot of things they had to do to continue to evolve the show and keep it interesting. I'm enjoying it very much. I'm glad some people are listening and coming back to it, because I get it. There were some dark days.
Yeah,
there's some tough things starting with that student festival. Some tough stretches of My Hero. But I very much enjoyed it. I would give these last couple episodes an 8,000. I would give the series this season as a whole 8,600.
Yeah. I just picture Rob like eating popcorn with super aggressive, like fucking America.
I just saw this video of like they edited like a eagle. And it's like an eagle with arms, and it's like, fuck yeah. It was like popcorn and nachos, fuck yeah. And he's just like shooting fucking assault rifles and shit. I was cracking up.
Oh my God. If she ends up being like the bad guy or the leak to the villains, I'm going to be so hurt.
No, man.
I'm going to be real hurt.
I mean, so watching this season, man, like I said, I skipped a lot of this in the manga and missed some other stuff. But man, like you said, the beginning of the season was just jaw dropping, incredibly like fire to me. And you know, even the episodes that you guys are saying like, kind of slow down. It's like I think when you're doing 20-something episodes, you need that.
Sure.
There's not. I don't know many shows, and I think maybe Brendan knows. I think he said Black Clover was kind of walls to the ball. Walls to the ball. Was it?
Walls to
Ball-
the walls to the ball.
Balls to the wall. It's perfect for me to do that on the last episode.
Oh my god.
But you, from what you
It'd
said,
be better if it was on purpose, but good lord.
But it seemed like you were saying Black Clover was like literally like a lot of gas to the pedal too, and like just going for the first like almost like 100 episodes. You said, right? Pretty much.
Bro, like they never like the thing about Black Clover is like some people make fun of it because of the animation sometimes because it's not top tier animation all the time. It's very inconsistent animation wise.
Yeah.
But the thing you have to give credit to Black Clover for is that they came out with an episode every week. Like that anime started and they did 100 and some episodes and they never missed a week. Like I've never had that experience before in any anime, any show, any experience where they were just like, we're going. And they did it. Like it didn't feel like if there was filler, it wasn't much. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't think of. I think there was like altogether like I don't know like 100 and something episodes, 120 episodes, 140 episodes, something like that. I think maybe 3 or 4 recap episodes out of all of them.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, like they got after it. They go hard. I had the experience of watching it every week when it came out. I don't know if it feels the same way to binge it, but I would watch it. I think I'm gonna watch it again.
It's done?
Yes. Huh?
It's done?
It's not done. No, it's not done. But they ended at a point that was like, I mean, but when they stopped, it was just like, all right, guys.
Y'all earned it.
Yeah, exactly. Take a break. You know what I'm saying? Go on vacation. Like, get some money for this. Like, y'all, there's no way. There's no way. If you watching it, if you ever watch Black Clover now, moving forward, understand this came out every single week. Just remember, keep that in context.
Yeah.
It came out every week.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know really personally a lot of shows that was like that just pedal to the metal for 26 episodes. So I get and every episode to me wasn't just some bullshit filler. It was like everything that was needed. It was like, all right, we need to slow down. We need to get Deku back in check. He's losing it a little bit. We need to check in with the friends and stuff like that because we haven't checked in with them. So, you know, everything meant something to me for even the episodes that weren't necessarily the super action-packed show episodes, and I appreciated that. I didn't have really a low moment in these whole 26, in my personal opinion. I enjoyed every fucking episode, more than others, of course. The action and stuff, of course, but some of the storytelling was good to me. But for me, I would give these two episodes right here 7,900, and I would give I'm around ice 85, 86, 8,600. I give these two. I mean, the whole season 6 and 8,600 because I know what I've been reading in the manga, and you need the room to grow with this bitch.
Yeah.
Like if you would have gave it anything like an 88, you'd be like, bro, you're not giving it enough room. You're not giving it enough room, and you need to give it at least a couple hundred for some room. And so that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, man. I know we said we had some extra questions for our favorite
our top fives?
Yeah, our top 5 animes of all time, right?
Yeah, of all time.
And I know we're Rob.
Look, I have my parameters. I went with it had to be something I've finished.
Yeah.
It had to be something that's over. Those are, I guess that was it. It has to be something that's finished. It has to be something I've seen all of. That's how I had to do my parameters. Which, of course, like I've said before, like a lot of the anime I watched because we did this podcast. So you will recognize a lot of titles that are in my top 5.
All right, so let's get that going. Rob, start us off then, man. What you got first?
Do we want to just go all the way, or do we want to go go around the 5?
We can go 5s, yeah.
So number 5, I went with Megalobox. It's for me. I think especially that first season, pretty good from start to finish. It's one that I recommend to a lot of people if they want to start out because it's not like too silly, not too over the top. They're good to their women characters, though there are very few, admittedly. But especially when we think about like stories that have like hit that emotional core, that episode with the soldier returning and even him like having that issue with the trainer and being like, no, I hear you got a new guy and I'm gonna fucking destroy him, and just finding out about their whole backstory and even where the trainer wound up. Was he trash? Yes, but making those sacrifices that he made for Joe towards the end of the first season, I thought were really great. And did any of you guys watch season 2?
I didn't get to watch it.
No, I didn't.
I don't think season 2 is as good. I think, but there's some really interesting ideas there, and I thought it was really great to see where Joe's journey went from there and what it means to like, okay, you're at the top of the world. Do you keep that success? What does it mean if you don't? and what that can do to you, and then even like talking about next generation and the messages you pass on as a champion. And I thought there were some really great themes in there. The music from season 2 is incredible. I actually downloaded the
No
album
more
for
of homie rapping, the little kid
No,
rapping.
none of that.
Sachio,
No,
Sachio
at all.
rapping. Oh my god,
at all. Luckily,
that was
they got
the worst
they
part
got
of the
rid of
entire
that.
show.
Yeah.
True that. So yeah, I have Megalobox in my number 5.
Okay. Brennan, what do you have as your number 5?
Let me go last.
All right.
Okay. Ice.
Dragon Ball Z would be my number 5. I know I give it
Yeah.
shit, but it's what got me into anime, and I will forever and continue to give it shit for the how long those episodes were and all that filler and all that shit. And I know that they were the OGs, and I know some of the animation was not up to par, but it's what got me in this shit, man. I think like just being a young kid watching Toonami. And just being so excited about this thing, and I just remember watching that first because I started watching it at the Frieza saga. Like that's like because I didn't really have cable growing up,
Same,
and I
yeah.
had to go to my dad's house to watch cable, and it was on, and I was just like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
And I think just like whatever this is, I need to have it, and just the feeling that it gave me is Dragon Ball Z is literally the reason I'm sitting here. So I think as much shit as I give it, it'd be wrong for me not to put it in my top 5.
I get that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna go with finished anime for all my answers. So
You don't have to.
for me, as of right now, sorry, Brennan, I'm gonna go Attack on Titan. That's number 5. I'm gonna go.
I mean, fine.
Attack on Titan to me, and I understand, and I feel like if I would have watched it, I probably will rewatch this whole season 4 once it's fully finished all the way through. But for me, man, let me tell you something, bro. When I started watching this show, the stakes, the emotion, this shit felt like I was watching a movie every single week.
Yeah.
It was beautifully animated, and the animation just kept getting better, and the storytelling is dope. And then I love the characters on here. I love more than one character on here. You know what I'm saying? Side characters are dope as hell. Main characters is pretty cool. We don't even know who the real villain is in this bitch, and I guess who you ever want to side with. AKA I stand with Aaron in this bitch right now. I stand with you, bro. Or at least I get.
You gotta see the end before you put
Well,
it down,
I'll
bro.
say at least as of right now, I was like, I get why he's doing it. I'm not saying necessarily it's the right reason to do it. It's not necessarily right, but
Genocide. There's no right reason to ever commit genocide.
But
like that,
but let
bro.
me tell you something. There's like an ongoing theme of like online how black people are kind of just like we're watching Aaron create this havoc, and it's kind of just like, eh. A lot of black people like online kind of just like, it is what it is in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So right now, Attack on Titan, man, but still at the end of the day, because when season 4 first kicked off, I was just like fucking blown away how everything happened with the reveal of Eren. I was just like, yo, like, my mind was blown.
They started strong.
They started strong as hell, and it's just like, yeah, you're right. If these gaps didn't happen and we got it all the way through, we probably wouldn't be having these type of conversations about like.
I
fuck
probably
it.
wouldn't be so tough on it.
Yeah. So and that's understandable. So Attack on Titan, starting off on my top 5.
I get it, but no.
Yeah.
It's somewhere. It's top 10. It's top 10 for me for sure.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in there. I think because again how I consumed it, but
Yeah.
I understand. My feelings get in the way.
Yeah. Understandable. Brennan, 5.
My number 5 is Death Note.
Understandable.
Death Note is what taught me that anime doesn't have to be action for me to love it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I had been on this action binge, and I was just like, everybody kept recommending it. I thought that it was about to be some crazy action. Like the name Death is in it. I was like, oh, this is about to be lit. And then it's just like, oh wow, the action is literally a guy writing in a note on a piece of paper. Yet this show still is incredibly enthralling. And so I'm all in on that. I was like, this shit's incredible. How you can't predict what's going to happen, but after you see it, you're like, these motherfuckers are brilliant. The writing of the show is brilliant. The execution is brilliant. It's such a good show that they almost didn't fuck it up with a live action version of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the live action version of it is watchable. It's like the only watchable live action anything I've ever seen because of how hard it is to fuck up the writing of Death Note.
you stand by Death Note even post L dying. You feel like that was strong enough to make it a top 5 anime?
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because, like, for me, the show kind of ended right there. And that's where that's where the show ended. And the
That's
thing is,
not
I'm happy.
fair. That's
I'm
not
just saying,
fair.
I'm happy that there's more or whatever. And I think that it was interesting what they did with like recreating L and how they did all that kind of shit. But at the same time, like what happened from the beginning of that show up until death of L is goated. Like it's just the writing.
I give you
alone.
that. I think just after L died, hurt that show a lot for me.
No, it did. It definitely hurt the show, but it also, what show has the balls to kill off most people's favorite character?
Gurren
You know what I'm
Lagann.
saying? Like,
Man,
you
fuck
said
that.
Gurren Lagann. Yeah, Gurren Lagann. I mean, but not, most shows don't do that, is my point.
Yeah.
And so, like, they did things that most shows don't do. And they had an anime that's still one of the most popular anime ever. When
Facts.
every other most popular anime is action.
Fact.
It's like, this is not it. So for me, it's like, it's so different, yet it still stands. That puts it in the top 5.
To hang with the big dogs with no hands, I feel like that is a feat.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's higher up on my list.
Rob.
My number 4. This might even make an appearance on Brennan's because this is certainly, this is my favorite thing that he's brought to the podcast personally. I'm going to go with Iron Blooded Orphans is my number 4.
Oh wow.
I think that's a really strong.
He's happy about that. I know he
I
is.
know.
Oh man, I love Rob, bro. Rob be here for me sometimes. He's just like, man, Brennan, I got you, bro.
It's a very
got you,
it's a very strong 2-season anime. That first season was like, that was cool. That season 2 was nuts.
Yeah, it was.
That
Yeah.
season 2 went crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that season 2 is what lands it in my top 5. Because like if it was the first season, I'd be like, all right, that was cool. But like, just what they were able to do, talk about a show that was not precious with its characters is like, this guy's gonna go, this girl's gonna go, this guy's gonna go in shocking ways that like I did not see coming.
She's just trying to get a teddy bear.
Oh my god, like that still hurts me, man. No, that and like, but like having that the hope at the end of it. I thought they were real about like this is what would happen. Like they did their best. They did their best out there, but like it was about the legacy they created and what they did, and like even though I wasn't a big fan of the character of like the rich girl there, like she was fine, but like seeing her at the end with the Tekadon earrings, like as she's signing the treaties that are making a lot of the changes possible that they fought for, I was like, damn, like I got kind of emotional watching that, even though like she was just like kind of whatever for me. It's like that moment, I was like, that's a great moment, and I think solidified a lot of what I thought the show was about.
Yeah.
And there's some weird stuff in there which kept it a little bit from being higher up on the list, with the, Mikazuki, I want to have your babies type stuff. But, otherwise, pretty
Hey
good
man,
show.
look, if you're great, you know what I'm saying? People gonna want to get that greatness. That's all.
I mean, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. British doesn't tell about himself. If you're great.
Nah.
No, that's my number 4.
All right, Ice, go ahead.
I wish I could just turn the camera to Link, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like honestly 2 through 4 for me can be interchangeable, and it just depends on the day. But this particular day, I'm gonna put Monster at number 4. Just because
Man, Ice is gonna have some exclusions from his list that we're all not gonna understand. But please continue.
We all are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Monster. I think Monster the same reason that Brennan talked about with Death Note. There's not really hands. People get killed. People get shot. There's some hands, but it's all cerebral. And I think Johan, which is the main antagonist in that, is one of the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest antagonist in anime history. And I think what he was able to do throughout that entire show was fucking nuts. And I think it really from the jump, it gets active and it stays active. It has lulls here and there, but it's only like 50 episodes, I think. But I think what it did for me, and actually having because it wasn't on any streaming services or nothing like that, so I had to like watch it on YouTube. Episodes I had to watch in fucking German dubs and shit like that. Like I had to do all types of shit to piece it together. And even with all that, not watching it clean, it was still a fantastic anime. So I think for it to be such a thriller, a psychological thriller with little violence, was fucking. It was great. It was great, and I think that was a great. That can be 3-2. For me as well, but I'll put it at 4 right now.
All right, for me, this is a show that is not finished, and most of my shows probably not going to be. In my top few, it is actually going to be. But this show right here is to me, I know it's going to be goated, and it's Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is number 4 for me. I go back to this show probably damn near more than any show besides like a Dragon Ball Z when it comes to like watching and like some other shows. when it comes to just watching the action scenes, just rewatching stuff. I mean, every day I try to convince Janelle, my wife, to be like, just watch this episode with me. It's pretty tight. I'm telling you. It's like, I don't do demons, Keenan. I'm like, all right. Understandable. But man, this show is just like you said, we were talking about the voice acting. The voice acting is top tier. The action is top tier. The animation is top tier. We're only 2 seasons in, and it's only going up from here from what we've read and what they got coming for us. Season 4 for me season 2 for me. I mean, this show for me in general is this number 4, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, when you originally had a question about our top seasons, Demon Slayer season 2 was in that conversation for me. My top 5 seasons ever. It would definitely be on my list if it were finished.
Yeah, absolutely. Brennan, what you got for us, man?
All right, so my number 4. This list is really hard to do, y'all.
I know.
But I actually I'm gonna agree with Rob. Iron Blooded Orphans, man. For all the reasons he said, one of my favorite characters in history in any anime is Orga. And yeah, I mean, enough said. Rob said it. I'm not gonna waste any more time because it's a great show, and I'm happy that somebody appreciated the greatness when it was in front of them in the way that Rob did. So we out here.
That season 1 just hurt. I didn't enjoy that first season. Season 2. Kind of like, I mean, it's like how you guys feel about, well, y'all haven't seen second season Tokyo Ghoul, but like that first season was rough, man. And then season 2, I enjoyed it. It was Mika's that guy, but goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, I might put season 2 like as a top 10 at least season.
Yeah, that's fact.
So it's not. Yeah, it's not a bad take, Brennan. It's all good. Rob, started off in the top 3 now.
Top
what we got?
3. I feel like this is gonna get some reactions. I'm gonna go with Cowboy Bebop.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Of shows that meet that criteria of like what I've seen, what I've finished. I'm putting Cowboy Bebop up there. I'm gonna be honest. Like
You're
you know me.
Sick.
The soundtrack has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the episode to a degree. The episodic nature of like week to week. There's an adventure. There's something that they're solving, and like this character based. I mean, it's definitely not like an action heavy show. There is some, but like the getting to know these characters and like what they're running from and what they are. What is keeping them broken and healing from that was interesting to me. Granted, I know character based stuff maybe not the most popular thing for a lot of the other hosts, but I thought that was really cool. And even for Spike, for him to go out the way he did and do his thing and have his final matchup with Vicious, and for them to end that way and not have and not to back away from it, to be like, okay, these 2 guys are headed for a battle to the death, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Was, I thought, a really great thing, and especially because I maybe my hopes were a little low because I was a little bit down on Shampoo, which I knew was from the same guy, but noting when it came and just as a collective whole of the animation, the writing, and the soundtrack, for me it hit on all 3 of those points, and so for me it's a top 5.
Top 5, top 3. Shit, fuck all that. Yeah. Here's the thing: we're in the minority with this. Like Rob, a lot of people love Bebop and Shampoo. Like they have it as their top 5, top 3. So we're, as much as we didn't like it, and I can understand why Rob likes it. And the music is top tier, probably some of the best music in anime with Shampoo. Ice, what you got? Number 3.
Number 3 for me would be Berserk, and I think Berserk. I mean,
that's one I've been meaning to get to.
It's one of the darkest, grittiest, most disgusting fucking animes that you can come across, but like the character development is top notch. The story is, and I'm talking about the original in the early 90s, not this CGI bullshit. Like the OG fucking, it tackles so many things that I feel like outside of maybe Akira, a lot of animes during that time period, even now, weren't talking about.
Sure.
So I think those themes are really dark. And once it gets dark, it stays there and it puts you through hell. Like, he literally goes through hell, but also figuratively, some of the stuff that the main character Guts has to go through makes him one of my top 5 favorite antagonists, main characters, just because like what he's able to go through and still be with the smoke and with the action. I think there's not the world building, the storytelling, the characters, the animation, especially for that time. I think just all around is one of the best animes ever created.
Okay, I'm gonna go number 3 for me. I'm gonna join Brennan with this one, man. Death Note, baby.
Really?
Because you gotta understand something. I'm with Brennan. That literally changed my perspective when it comes from action anime. Like I was all action. I was all action. And that show, I was just like, all right, let me see this shit. I kept getting recommended. And I was like, this shit is some of the best writing I've seen. Not even just as an anime, just some of the best writing I've seen in a long time at that particular time. And I understand, like you said, the back half, but still, even Light having that moment of him laughing psychotically. I've rewatched that last scene when he finally gets caught when he thought he got away with that shit.
Yeah.
Because that's just so fucking chilling, and he's just like, wait, no, wait a second here, fuck all that, and it's just like that's just beautiful, dog. Like, you would that's the best cat and mouse detective type of work that I've seen in anything, in any show, for me personally, that I've seen anyways.
Sure. I don't.
The whole jail. I think the coldest part of the entire anime for me is I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna forget this shit, but I got this shit planned. And once you say this, I'm gonna remember everything, and I'm gonna be right fucking back,
bro.
Like I think that is probably one of the greatest, especially non-action anime moments, non-violent anime moments ever.
Yeah.
To plan all of that shit out, because if one thing goes wrong, he's fucked, and he forgets forever. And he planned all that shit out to a T, and for it to be executed like that, him just in a jail cell touching it, and then everything just goes up, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That
So
shit was
you gotta
wild.
understand, for me too, like I was torn with like him winning and losing. Like even when he beat L, I was just like, I don't even know how I feel about this, because like I wanted him to kind of win this, but then I was like, but I liked L a lot.
Yeah.
And then even when it got to the end, it was like, oh, this guy got him.
Yeah.
Oh, like I kind of wanted him to get away with this shit at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, again, when they enter, what was homie name? I don't even remember his name.
N, I think it
N.
was.
Yeah, there's
Man,
N
fuck
and then
that guy,
another
man.
guy.
I didn't care.
Yeah, and it's understandable, but like still some of the best stuff I've seen. So that literally changed my perspective when it came to that type of anime. So it brought me here, and I have to get that its respect. Brennan, number 3 for you.
Number 3 for me, man, y'all got, this is interesting. My number 3 is Bleach.
Okay.
Obviously, I've seen all of Bleach.
Yeah.
The most recent season is undisputably one of my favorite seasons of anime. Period. You don't even have to watch the rest of it to understand how dope it is. And just the longevity and like that it still stands up. Like I could be like right now to anybody, like, hey, go watch the first 5 episodes of Bleach. Tell me what you think. And they're gonna be like, this is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like this is crazy. Like Soul Reapers, but like in the space of like samurai kind of in a Edo Japan, but also current day at the same time. It's like, yeah, that's what this is. It goes hard. And the diversity of swords, the actual number ranking of people and their power levels, that's my favorite shit. That's why like One Punch Man is so great to me, because it's like, yo, what's your number? What's your ranking? You know, that's why I love, another thing I love about My Hero. So for me, Bleach did so much for me to understand what an anime can do when it comes to writing, and specifically character development of everybody around the characters and how they're moving and how they're growing. And then to watch some of them just die with no circumstance, like no ceremony, just
Get
there's
smoked
his
out.
body.
Sliced up.
Like
He got wrecked.
The
there's
portal
his body,
open,
like, yo,
slice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he had a whole arc. You know what I'm saying? Like
Had.
this man had a girlfriend. Like he had aspirations. He was gonna be a captain. Like, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Who is that?
saying?
Who are you talking about?
My man with the bent sword. I forget his name. I don't know anybody's names.
Oh, when you hit it, it's heavy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy. Oh my God.
Yeah, he got him up out of there.
Exactly. Like, didn't he
Yeah,
have
he
a
did.
whole thing?
Yeah, he had a whole.
You know what I'm saying?
They did.
He
yeah.
had a whole thing going,
Yeah.
and they was like, they didn't even show him die. It was just
Yeah.
like, there he is, he's dead. Like,
All
I
right.
was like, this show doesn't care about my feelings.
All right, what you got for us now? Right off the top 2, man. Go ahead.
I mean, I said I had it higher on my list. It's already been mentioned twice. I got Death Note.
Yeah, there
I
we
can't
go.
really expand too much more
Kira
upon it.
was his name.
But I really liked the show. I liked that it brought a different flavor to what we were doing, and just like keeping it exciting. No, I mean, I think you're right. Like, obviously, I was a big fan of L, so losing him definitely was hurt. But I think there's a lot to still like about that back half, especially like when his dad ends up taking on the Shinigami eyes and like having to reconcile, like, oh, like shit, you know, lying to his dad about like whether or not he was Kira and yada yada. Like, I think there was some really interesting stuff with Light towards the end, and how the things were the circle was tightening around him. And yeah, like you mentioned, that last scene where he gets caught and he just like loses it and to be abandoned by everybody bit by bit. It's like that's tough to see, but shows what happens when you when you try to play God. And so yeah, no, I enjoyed the show a lot. I think it's it definitely it's not perfect, but I enjoyed a lot about it.
Ice. Number 2.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Number 2. I think start to finish. I think I talk about this a lot. Anime tattoos. One of the people if I do decide to get an anime sleeve, it's Mustang's going to be on there. I think what he meant to the show, what he meant to the Elric brothers was amazing, and he didn't even come till a little bit later in the show. But I think fucking everything that happens, the shit with Shao Tucker was fucking nuts. Even stuff with their dad, the stakes that they had, Al Fine's losing his body. I mean, and just to see it. And I watched the other one first, the not great
Non-Brotherhood?
one. Yeah, non-Brotherhood first,
Same
and
here.
then Brotherhood,
Same
and
here.
it was. I was like, this is the same shit, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
And then when it turned into a different show, it stayed a different show, and it was just like, hey, we're not gonna be here. I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. It was like maybe 50
It's like 80
episodes. Yeah,
episodes.
like is it 80?
It's
About
like
80.
70 something.
Yeah.
So it's just like it got in and it got out, and you felt every episode. I think maybe 1 or 2 fillers, maybe. I can't even, and that's a big maybe. But I think what it was able to do, and how they were able to build the world in such a short period of time and get you to care about everybody in that short period of time, the bad guys, the good guys, for the Raph to be, General Bradley and stuff like that, or like I think from top to bottom, the end fight with everybody fighting was fucking nuts, and I think it gave you. It's really a great display of like what you want in anime. I think the model that the new animes are following is basically Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Give you great characters, give you a great world building, and we're not gonna be here all day.
Man, my 1 and 2 are essentially they jump back and forth. I guess just to say that, I mean, I got the hat on, man. Dragon Ball Z.
Sure.
For me, damn, dude. I mean, I feel like Dragon Ball Z and Super. I feel like still that Black Goku arc is one of the best arcs I've seen. It's still one of my favorite arcs. I mean, the Universal Tournament arc is incredible, also in my personal opinion.
Goku Black is the reason that I'm on this podcast.
Really?
Oh yeah, because I think we talked about it or something like that.
Yeah. No, Brennan was about to go to Peru, and he saw that I had a Goku Black shirt on. He was like, "Hey man, I don't know you, but you watch anime?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I watch anime." He was like,
That's
all
funny.
right. He was just like, "I'm about to be gone for a while. There's this anime podcast that I'm doing. If you want to be on it while I'm gone, you can." And I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
So shout out to Goku Black.
Yeah, and so I mean, to me, Dragon Ball has some of the best art, or most of my favorite arcs. It has that Cell arc, that Frieza arc, parts of that Boo arc, which is incredible also. That show just has my heart. I mean, it's not to get sentimental and stuff like that, but it's like that's what, like you said, that was like I've seen other anime, but that's what kind of like got me fully all the way in. Like this is what anime is. This is
Oh,
what
you saw anime before then?
I saw like some other stuff that I probably can't fully like remember.
Detective Conan.
It's like stuff that didn't really
Yeah.
mean much
Yeah.
to me in a sense.
Yeah.
But like this is what it was like. All right, this is
Astro Boy.
Yeah.
what is anime in a
Mhm.
sense. And this is what locked me in for life. And some of my favorite characters, Trunks is still one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that, and then even when it comes to the movies are dope. They're consistent throughout. I read the manga. The manga's still pretty consistent, even though it gets a little bit repetitive from time to time.
Yeah.
But damn it, man! Like Dragon Ball Z and Super are just like, it's the Godfather of y'all, man. It's
true.
the Godfather of a lot of this stuff in a sense. So
Yeah.
like I said, it jumps back and forth between 1 and 2. So it's my one auto. It's like my 1A, more my 1B or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Brennan.
What? Real
What?
quick, favorite DBZ movie?
Man, I loved.
You better not say Triamite.
No. I watched some of the fight scenes again from Triamite. Some of the fight scenes were choreographed pretty dope.
Yeah.
Dog,
New Broly one.
the new Broly, man, you might be right, bro. That
Yeah.
new Broly one. Honestly, first Broly, second
First.
Broly, and this Broly, and the newest one.
I
Not
just ain't
Bio
like-
Broly.
Nah, I ain't like how Vegeta went out in that first one. That's what pissed me off. He was a hoe.
To me, that was dope because it was like the fear of like, yo, this guy's the fucking legend. He's a dog. And then the second one with Gohan being like, I know who this motherfucker is, but we gotta scrap. You fucking my little brother, dog.
Yeah.
Like I gotta get after you.
Mhm.
And Gohan was giving him some real problems in that. I'm like, you didn't see it,
I
huh?
haven't seen that
Yeah.
one. No.
Gohan, that's you being a Gohan
I'll check
fan.
it out. Yeah.
He was giving Broly some problems in that bitch. So yeah, I would say that all like the 3 Broly movies, 1 and 2, and then Super Broly. Definitely not Bio Broly. That shit's not even a movie to me. That shit is the worst shit in history. It should not even be made into anything. Brennan, number 2.
My number 2 is My Hero Academia.
Really?
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is my number 2.
So you just gave
But I
away your
think it's going to be
number
number 1. That was my number 1 is going to be My Hero. So I'm just going to.
You was on my ass for giving Demon Slayer number 4. How you not on benefit get put in number 2?
What'd you say?
He was on my.
No, I said really. I mean, because because neither one of them done. I think that's the thing for me. Why giving y'all shit about it?
Well, the thing is for me is though, it's just I think about walking in and just watching this, just purely just watching what is there right now, what is finished right now.
Yeah.
And what is finished right now for what is there, because more of My Hero Academia is out there and it's like it's just there. There's more of it. That's the reason I give it the edge over Demon Slayer. I think Demon Slayer is going to end up being my number 1. But
Same.
right now, where I'm at, that's where I'm at. My Hero is just insane, and I'm just more excited about it than I've been about anything I've seen before. And everything that I want in anime is there. And Demon Slayer is the same space, but the animation, the voice acting, all of it, insane. I hate that I'm picking 2 things that are super contemporary like this because I could
especially with your anime background. That's wild.
You've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot, but for me, it's just like the thing is, it's really easy because I've seen so much. It's easy to see what was built upon. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, like Dragon Ball was incredible and it meant everything to me as a 12 to 17-year-old. You know, but watching Super, I'm just like, I'm not into this the way that I was into Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm not into this the way that I was into Demon Slayer. I'm watching this because I feel I know these characters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
you know
Goku
gonna save
ain't
the
never
day.
changed.
Yeah.
You
True.
know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
He's always been the same character, which is like part of what it is. Everybody around him is changing. But it's like, yeah, but it's like they don't even do that good of a job of that. Like it was a revolutionary show for its time, but if you're stacking apples to apples, regardless of when they think shit came out, the stuff coming out now is more complete than any of the other stuff that was before because of the other stuff before. So I have to pay homage to the things before it. If you're saying like we're scaling this against when it came out,
I mean, but there was great animes during that time. Yu Yu Hakusho, I would say pound for pound, is a better anime than Dragon Ball Z. But they came out around the same time.
Well, yeah, but
No,
I think that, and the other thing about Yu Yu Hakusho that makes it it's a better anime, it's better written, but it doesn't have bigger powers. It doesn't have more yelling. It doesn't have the explosion. It doesn't have the flashy things that'll attract the casual. You know what I'm saying? The reason why Dragon Ball Z is as big as it is because it has all the things that attracts a casual.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if you haven't seen anime before, especially like around the time that we all were exposed to it, we had never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
There was nothing to compare it to. It's just like, what in the... These motherfuckers are flying and blasting each other and, you know, screaming their lungs out. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, they remind me of black folk or you remind you whatever. It's like you can relate to them in a way that we couldn't relate to any of the other cartoons that we were watching. Specifically, like from a testosterone-based level. Like there was nothing else that gave us that adrenaline rush. Like Dragon Ball Z did. But now it's like, all right, well, now we just saw that Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, that whole series is raw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is just like that raw, like it's like this is raw, unfiltered, like refined, just energy. But it's like now we got shit like, I just finished rewatching Jujutsu Kaisen and I'm just like, this show is brilliant.
Oh, it's great.
You know what I'm saying? How much got accomplished in one season?
Yeah.
The level of detail, the story building, the character building, like they knocked it out the park with everything. The only reason they're not on the list is because they're the only thing on here that only has one season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
when
Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 comes out, we ask this question again.
Definitely.
It's probably going to make it into my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand. I didn't mean to give away both of them, but I did put the numbers next to them. So it's like they're pretty much equal to me. So I'm saying My Hero and Demon Slayer.
Okay.
Dark Tournament or Tournament of Power?
From Yu Yu Hakusho? I go back to Tournament of Power a lot more.
Yeah, I would say
Not even
Tournament of
close.
Power for me.
Not even close.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Tournament of Power just because
Yeah.
Dark Tournament's written better. Tournament of Power gives me more what I'm looking for when I'm looking for motherfuckers getting after it.
Yeah. For
Wow,
that reason.
that's surprising.
Yeah.
I'm just the music alone. Like
Yeah.
they changed the world with
Yeah. The music was
shit
great
goes
in that.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, round off your number 1 pick.
I mean, I don't think this is a surprise. This is a surprise for anybody that's been listening to this podcast and knows my opinion. It's already been mentioned here, I think, a couple times. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is
heavy metal.
Oh yeah, no, it's the number 1 for me. That's a 9,000 show to me. That's a 9,000 show to me. I mean, it's my number 1. Well, what else would I give a 9,000? I think it's
99.
I think it's from front to back. Like
I should have been like Princess Mononoke.
yeah. Well, that's a movie. It's not a series. I mean, if we're talking movies, that's a different conversation. But that's the one show that I was like, Andrea, my wife, if you're gonna watch an anime, watch this with me. That's when after this, I'll never ask again, and I haven't asked. And we watched that, and she enjoyed it, and that's why I think it's a testament to like how great a story it is that. I think that's another one that I would recommend to people if you're looking to start anime. It's not a huge episode count. I think the characters, both in Japanese and in English, are incredibly well voice acted.
Yes.
I was just with some buddies a couple weekends ago, and we were like completely unprompted. A buddy of mine was just like, man, fucking Fuhrer Bradley's voice actor in the English dub goes nuts.
Yeah.
And we were watching his like final fight scenes with Scar.
Yeah.
That show goes crazy.
It does.
And those fight scenes are nuts, and the voice acting is great. It's, I think, a complete story from front to back. There's very little, if any, fat on it at all. I struggle to think of like much you could cut from it, and I mean they did cut stuff from the manga, like so they even took some stuff that was like, we don't need this, get this the fuck out of here. And I think it tells a great story with great characters that treats them well, it's again, like you said, they're not here for a long time, but they're here for a good time. I think they do what they need to do. They got in, they got out. And that's a common theme, I think. Looking at my top 5, I'm like, these are all like 1-2 season type shows. So like they make their impact, they say what they got to say, and they go. And I think that they did it.
Is anything bigger than the Mustang moment? Envy moment. It's Envy, right? Or right? Yeah, it was Envy.
It was Envy, not Lust.
Yeah, because he got because his buddy there.
Daijobe.
Is there anything bigger than that?
Like in that show or
in that show? In that show.
I think it just depends on you, because I mean,
that's what I'm asking y'all.
That Fury moment was fire, bro.
Bro, I mean, that was all dope and all, but the amount of emotional damage that my man Tucker did to me.
Yeah, that's the big moment to me also.
I don't know.
You know what's a crazy moment that people don't talk about? Alphonse versus the fucking the
Crimson Alchemist. That's a
that
big one.
shit was fucking nut.
Yeah.
Alphonse got after it.
That's a big one, and I would say another maybe big moment is Raph going up against the fortress when the jig is up, and they're just like, okay, we're done playing games now. Okay, great. I'm cutting up your tank. I'm cutting through my.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to go right now. I'm being called down by my parents to get my son.
Hey, man.
So I love you all. I love everybody on the Patreon, every supporter we've ever had. Y'all are the truth. Let this not be the end, but the new beginning. And you'll hear from a version of whoever soon. We love you all. Make sure you give everybody all the love. It's an honor to have done this with you guys for all these years. You guys are the greatest.
The greatest.
You guys are the greatest. I love you all. And I will see you all soon. And anybody, what I'm saying, holla at me on Instagram, what I'm saying, any of the fans, whatever. Like, I love y'all too. And we appreciate y'all. So we out here.
Thank you, Brennan. We appreciate you, dog.
Brennan.
Thank you
man.
for all your time too, bro.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, peace, bro.
Bye. But yeah, that might be a bigger moment. I don't know if a bigger moment, but certainly up there, because he was also just cutting through everybody.
Yeah.
That tank cut up was nuts.
Yeah.
You gotta get on the mic.
Oh yeah, I was just talking.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my number one.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
Number one for you guys. We already know.
I mean, come on. Come on, man. If you've listened to more than fucking 3 episodes of this podcast, you already know where we're going. The greatest fucking anime ever, Naruto.
AKA the copycat. He copied Goku's hair. He copied Goku's colors. We understand, but it's
And
all
they
good.
took- and they
Go
took
ahead,
it-
and they made it better.
They took it to a whole nother level and did stuff Goku could only achieve in his sensu being dream. So, I mean, what it made to me, honestly, talking about stuff they got. I'm doing a lot of, did you know or behind the scenes stuff. I was kind of away from anime for a while until Naruto. I came back to Naruto. I watched Naruto as a kid when it was on Toonami and stuff, but I kind of faded away from it. Then I just was living life, playing sports, doing all of that jazz. And then like in 2013, 2014, I was on like a little hiatus of watching anime, and then I realized that Naruto was almost done. I got back into Naruto. I just had surgery on my knee, so I couldn't do nothing. I tore my meniscus, and I needed to do something. I was like, man, I want to see, I want to catch up on Naruto, and I just sat there and binged like 400 or 500 episodes of Naruto, fillers included, because I didn't know, I didn't have my filler list or nothing like that. So I just watched all of it. Fucked up knee over a 6-7 week period of me recovering.
Damn.
And I think it was just like, oh my God, like I just felt like a child again, and it brought me back to how much I loved anime, how I first felt when I watched Dragon Ball Z. So what it did for me, and then I finished it and it was still great. And yeah, it has its flaws, like, all of those shonen anime, but I think what it meant to me, it reignited my love for anime, and it hasn't dimmed or been put out since. So I owe so much to Naruto. So yeah, it'll always be my number one. And if it's nostalgia, it's nostalgia. I could take that, baby, but Naruto is a fantastic, and it will always be my number one. Even when Demon Slayer finishes, I think at best it might beat out Full Metal Alchemist, but I can't really see just what it meant to me. I can't see it being number one.
Ah, man. So it's already been said on here a few times too. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That show, I was looking for something to beat out Dragon Ball Z, and this was the only show that from time to time I'd be like, it might be my number one. Then it's not my number one. But then, like I said, this is literally like that and Dragon Ball Z and Super kind of go
1A, 1B.
1A, 1B. They go back and forth. Depending on how the day I'm feeling, I might pull Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as number one. First of all, this is the story, man. This is a story about two brothers, and I look at this story like my brother and myself. You know what I'm saying? That's I think that's probably why I was so connected to it, because being the younger brother, seeing myself as Alphonse, and my older brother, kind of just us going through fighting. And, they had their brotherly moments on there where it's just like, yo, I can do this by myself. I don't, stop looking at me a certain way. And those are the fights that my brother and I have had growing up as kids.
Yeah.
So, besides that, like you said, there was, I'm with Rob. You talk about very little to no probably fat on a show. This is one of them shows, bro. Like, I was watching this, I was with Ice. I watched the first one, Full Metal Alchemist first. Yeah. And then I went back and rewatched this one. I was just like, oh, this shit is. Now this is what people were talking about.
Oh, you're different.
Yeah, because they were saying how this is the best show ever.
Yeah.
And I watched the first one. I was like, oh, this is straight. Like it had moments that I did like still. I was like, this ain't top 5 for me.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched this. I was just like, oh, okay. Some of these characters are different. They getting after it different. Even the fight against Father or God, whatever you want to call him, it's that fight was dope as hell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Finally getting his brother's body back, because in the other one, I don't know if you're gonna ever watch the other one.
Nope.
No, there's no reason.
Essentially, they end off on this little.
It was weird.
This blimp or whatever, and it's just like, we finally did it, brother. And it's just like it was this weird.
Because they was in that warehouse and shit.
Yeah, it was
it was weird.
The ending just wasn't. There was zero satisfying for it. It just wasn't good.
Huh.
So. That show, man, it was like you said, the voice acting is top tier.
Yeah.
So many fire ass fight scenes.
Yep.
Not just Mustang, but even with Lust.
Yeah.
Like you said, even with Alphonse helping with Lust, that shit was dope as hell.
The Armstrong siblings.
The Armstrong siblings.
Armstrong fighting Gluttony. That was fucking dope.
That was dope as hell. Gluttony was
because he was fast as fuck.
He was a monster in that bitch. That other big old dude that was that was rolling. What's his name again? The other
Sloth or whatever.
Sloth. Yeah, Sloth.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, Sloth being fat
that's
as hell. Yeah, Gluttony was a fat one or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, watching the Armstrong sister be somebody completely fucking different.
Yeah, a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dog. Being her
that her brother was scared of.
She's no joke.
Literally in the first one, she's a girly girl, don't even really look the same. But this one, she's like, yo, who wants smoke, motherfucker? Who wants this shit?
Anybody can
and
catch
she
this
gave
sword.
it to people.
Yeah.
I run the fucking wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so her being the Ice Queen in a sense, that was just dope as fuck. And that show still gives me chills. I go back to that show a lot when it comes to even whether it's fight scenes.
Yeah.
I might even try to I might just give myself a reason to rewatch it again and be like, yo, Chanel, come on,
Yeah.
this is something I think you'd
It's
be
a
into.
great
It's
show.
great. It is great.
It's a
You
great
got Andrea to
show.
watch it, right?
I got to watch. You watched it because that was one of the ones where I'm just like, there's a lot of shows I can't be like, because she'll come in during Demon Slayer and Nezuko's going crazy and she's like, oh sure, her boobs are big now, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's not me. It's not like
He just did something early before the podcast. He was just like, it was like a girl moaning. I looked like, what the fuck? He's like, nah,
I was
man.
scrolling and it just played like this girl going, I was just like, oh shit. And I think the mirror heard it too. I was just like, I'm out of here, guys.
but I mean, Full Metal, I feel like their female characters are great.
Yeah, exactly. They made them strong. They made them real in there.
Are you Alphonse or Edward? Because you talk about your brother.
Man, I like them both, bro. I like them both a lot, man. I did like Ed a slightly more, and even though I'm the younger brother in the situation, I'm more Alphonse. I did like Ed slightly more in watching the show.
He kind of jokes.
And he's also a comedian. You gonna be short, huh? Kick your ass. It was just funny to me all the time.
Would you do that for your brother? The lengths that they went through? to get your brother body back.
Absolutely, no question asked. Absolutely, it's not even an almost.
Knowing all the risks that,
bro, it's not even almost. Because even with my brother, I know my brother would do the same for me too.
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as they be like, "This is what you got to do. Let's go. Let's get it.
No questions.
Let's go. What we got to do. Let's
Damn.
go."
Yeah.
It's I'll do anything for my brother in a sense.
That's dope.
Yeah. So
That's hard.
yeah, man. What about you for your sister?
Of course,
Yeah.
100%. That's my dog, man. You know,
Yeah.
she pull up to everything I do. There's a 0.00000 chance that I would not go. You know,
Exactly.
like, I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So man, that is our top 5. Let us know
Top five.
your top 5 in the comment section when this comes out. And like I said, as of right now, this is looking like an end as of now. Let's just say that. But our Patreon will get an update later on in the week about what we're going to be thinking about possibly doing. Nothing's promised as of right now. But we will be kind of having some discussions. And Patreon, you'll be the first to know. And then we'll let you know after that.
Yeah.
What Cowboy Bebop say? See you later,
See you later, Space Cowboy.
See you later, Space Cowboy, man.
See you later, Space Cowboy.
So drop our stuff. Brendan on every single thing. I want to even crucify him with that because he was on here with
No,
us.
fuck
man.
that bitch ass, hoe ass, punk ass, bald ass Brennan at Instagram.
No hoe ass, punk ass, Stickman Studios. That's Killer Cam. Rob, what you got?
I'm not very active on social media, but RV Danger on most things, or RV Danger 44 if that's not there. No, I just want to, thank you guys for doing this with us, and love you guys to the end of the earth and back. You guys you came to my wedding. It's been a lot of fun over these years doing this.
Yeah.
And shit, and also the fans, like shit, you guys have literally been there for me when my family needed it, and you had absolutely no reason to be, and that means a lot. And so a lot of love for the fans. That's going to be the part I think I miss the most, doing this week to week. Shout out to those that have been with us for a long time. King Mike Hall, Sir Spec. I'll forget some people, I'm sure, but Keith Poley.
Keith, all you
Keith.
Q. I know
Shout
we
out
haven't
to
heard
Jason
from Q in a
Ranger.
long while, but Q
Yeah.
from Everyday Cosplay now. Just had a lot of people. I'm sorry if I didn't mention you by name. Honestly, just no, it means a lot that you guys came along on the ride with us for this.
Yeah, shout out
to Chad.
Yeah, shout out to a lot of y'all. Y'all be in the Patreon. King Mike Hall, he's in it every single time we do the show. Sir Spectacular, man.
Jamoni, Dame, shout out to Dame.
Yeah,
Jason Ranger.
Dame,
What up?
yeah.
What up?
Jason Ranger.
What up, Brooklyn?
Got-
Brooklyn, right, Dame? Right out. Shout out to Brooklyn.
Slow RC3. Yeah.
I think I'm not sure how you say it, but
Crayon
Crayon
Box.
Box. Yeah, Crayon
Yeah.
Box. Shout out to you. Who else? You said D'Amelia.
Yeah, that's Dame. Yeah,
That's Dame.
Brooklyn in the house.
Who else? AK254 was in the house today. Papa Rob, man, as always.
Shout out to Rob, the other. Shout out to the other Rob, Rob Connor, and then his brother Anthony. Shout out to those two guys.
Yep.
They're great.
You got
Javier,
Knuckleheaded Ninja in the group chat.
Yeah.
Denzel Moton, Javier De Niro, man. Shout out to y'all too. Anarchist, as always. Riley, we saw you. We talked to you a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Congratulations on the engagement.
On the engagement, yeah, man. So we appreciate all of y'all, man, and everybody else in the Patreon for just rocking with us and kicking with us, man. It's sad, man. I was getting a little bit emotional,
Yeah,
man.
I'm hurt, boy.
A little bit of teary-eyed, man. But we love y'all, and like we said, Patreon, y'all will be the first. Y'all will get a first update later on this week. And we appreciate y'all, man. We love y'all. And thank y'all for tuning in to another episode.
Damn, we ain't say nothing. I ain't get to-
I didn't say mine either. But go ahead.
Oh, I thought we was all just going. Yeah,
Yeah.
You just want to just fuck all of us, huh? We just gonna go out like that?
I hear you, man.
No, I just want a big shout out to everybody. The growth that we've had in these couple of years has been great. I think the person that I was, when I started this podcast and the person I am now, two totally different people, and that does have a lot to get. It has a lot to do with you guys, getting into it with you guys, learning, growing with you guys. Keeping me on and being a part of the podcast all these years, man. I love y'all. Obviously, we gonna talk after this and still be there. But
absolutely.
Yeah, we're all still cool. We're still be talking to Rob and
There's
Brennan.
there's no beef.
Yeah, there's no podcast.
There's, I don't need no TMZ.
It's
Yeah.
not Jesus and Nero.
Yeah,
or
like,
whatever.
yeah,
All
not
these other,
no-
there's a few other podcasts out there that split up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
we got
we're not,
Keenan and I still do bonfire stories. So
Rob was just there at Bonfire
Yeah, it was a
Stories.
great time.
Yeah,
If you're in LA, check it out.
Yeah,
so I think all of those things. So there's no issues with that. I think it's just like I am very appreciative of the guys sitting in front of me, but also you guys. I feel like you guys are really a second family. And when I have, those obscure anime questions or ideas or jokes, I have an outlet to say them now.
Yeah.
So I think that's also great. So
Yeah.
follow me on everything, man. Instagram, still the YouTube popping. It's a whole lot going on social media for me. So please, 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 Ice McGowan on everything. I cannot stress it enough. I love you guys. And just one more time, this is the greatest. The greatest fucking anime podcast in the entire world.
And yeah, man, thank y'all, man. Keenan Baker on every single thing. Please keep following me. Go ahead.
Just before you wrap it up, because I don't want to step on anything, I do want to shout out Cam and Amir, helping us out.
Shout out to Cam and Amir.
Cam and Amir, man.
Especially Amir today, but Cam has been with us
bro.
for a lot of episodes, and he couldn't be here today. But wouldn't it be funny if Cam was the one guy that were like, "Fuck Cam"?
Yeah.
He's not here. We're not cool with Cam.
Yeah. It's the reason why this shit is not.
But I want to give them a quick
Not at
shout
all.
out before we got out of here.
Yeah,
Anyway.
thank them. I send another special shout out to Brennan, man. He held it down for us for a very, very long time. And it's just transit pictures and transit studios in general, man. And Cam on Stage Studios, like they let us shoot here and do our thing here, and we appreciate the fuck out of that because they didn't have to. So these guys are my brothers. I appreciate them for everything. Y'all, appreciate the hell out of y'all. Getting a little emotional. I won't cry, man. I'm 37. I don't know why you get emotional.
Why are you telling yourself
Hey,
that?
man.
It's like you trying to coach yourself.
Well, you got to keep talking to keep the tears from falling, motherfucker. All right, so
I feel like that make them come more because your eyes moving.
but I appreciate y'all for just rocking with us for this fucking long, over 3 years, man. And you guys showed up for us, and we really appreciate it. And as you guys know, there's a hell of a lot of content up there. So you guys can always go back, rewatch. Even if there's a possibility we don't come back, we'll still be talking anime at some point with y'all. So y'all all follow us in the sense. So you'll still see anime stuff from us anyway.
Man, I was just about to have that sparring match with Spec, man, but now that the podcast,
what are you gonna do?
Now that the podcast ain't here, I can't do it no more, man. I'm sorry, Spec. Just the podcast. I apologize, man. I was about to. Yeah, we was about to go after it, but
we can still set it up for you
no,
guys.
No, I'm just saying, it's just because of the podcast, man. If the podcast is not here, I can't do it, man. I'm sorry, Spec.
All right, y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in one last time to another episode of AnimeSHUN. We are out, y'all. Peace.
And so anime was solved forever.